Welcome to another episode of Please Delete This.
Hold on.
I can't.
Go ahead, man.
Best.
Oh,
That's
well.
a dope movie.
Oh, man. I'm going to have to go find this now.
I hate to interrupt your little
We got to
whoopee
start the
fest,
pod, yeah?
But
Whoopee fest. Darren be rude.
Yo,
He said,
man.
I hate to interrupt your little whoopee fest.
Sorry, Tammy.
I'm not sensing any hate at all.
Listen,
If
there's a
Whoopi
time
was
and place
here.
for everything. Episode
Look,
90.
I stole your hairstyle. This is episode.
It's okay, Jen. Yo, she's stupid. Jen's silly today.
I'm sorry, Darren. Go ahead. Go ahead, Darren. Do the thing. Do the thing.
Do the thing.
Do the thing, Darren.
Episode 91.
Right.
Have you been practicing your pause? You ready for this?
No, I
Who's
thought about
handling
earlier.
it? You're handling it.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Look
Welcome
at
to another
that.
episode of Please Delete This. In the building, we got Darren.
Bam.
Genevieve.
And we have a special guest with us this evening.
Stop the landing.
Thank
Let
you.
him finish.
Sorry,
I'm not-
I got so excited. I was like a
No,
proud
no, it's
mom.
good because I was like, I don't know where to go from here, guys. We are joined by the musically talented, ever so wonderful Miss Candi The Violinist.
Yay.
Really
rock. I'm on Please Delete This.
Word.
Check it out.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
So me and the wife went out on Friday and went to go see Mike and didn't realize that she was playing along with Mike. And man, it was a great. What are you whispering over there? You want to share with the class, ma'am? Huh, Miss Genevieve? Do I have to send you to the principal's office?
I was saying that you said Friday.
I did. Oh.
Darren, ignore her.
I should have.
Just ignore it. It's
I didn't
never
know.
good.
Well, because I thought
Friday.
I didn't think I said that. Anyway,
Boy.
anyway, so we went out to District and we got to see Mike play along with the wonderful Miss Candi, and it's first, the vibe in District is amazing in itself on a Friday night. If you haven't been to District on a Friday night, please go and check out Mr. Mike Rollins and company. But as we were in there, Candi was over there, playing the violin and stuff. And then I always forget how versatile music is. Mm-hmm. So like you think of violin, you think of like it's a classical instrument and it's playing all the Beethovens and the Bachs and stuff like that, which I love. But here it is. They're playing
R&B, neo soul.
Before I Let Go.
Yeah.
And things like that. And here she is just going along to it. No music, off the rip, off the top of the head. It was dope to see. So immediately I was like, yo, she got to be on the show. I got to get her on the show. Yo.
Not in that voice, Darren.
It was in that voice, but it was to myself.
He definitely
behind the wall.
He didn't, I have to say, he did not approach me and use that voice. Thank goodness. That's
God
why
bless.
I'm here today.
God
It
bless.
may not have worked out
I wouldn't have
otherwise.
worked out. I was like, hey, baby, let's get to the show.
We're wondering.
But
I'd be like, yeah, no, I
I
can
say,
go.
of course, by myself, we were wondering if you could do the show. I'm really not crazy. We're not crazy, I swear. So I did approach her after she was playing her set, and I was like, hey, super dope. Woman of color playing great music on a great instrument. Definitely an interesting individual. We got to have you on the show. And she was like, I'm there. And here she is.
Yay!
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you for
coming
having
through.
me. It's pretty cool because I actually follow you guys on
Hey,
Instagram.
Look at that.
So
Look at
I
that.
already
Take that.
knew. I knew all about your podcast. So when you said you were from Please Delete This, I was like, oh, I know who you are.
I did. I felt excited when she said it. Too.
Yeah, so I was pretty excited about that, and I had just last week met. Help me with her name, but she is the vaginal steamer god.
Oh, yes.
Yo, Winnell, shout out to
Okay.
Winnell.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. So that was the very first podcast I actually tuned into.
Ah.
Is the one featuring her.
Oh, cool.
And I met her at a function, the Black Tea Leaf.
Yes.
Professionals holiday party, which is pretty neat. She's awesome.
She is.
I have not. She's booked all the way up through January, but I've
Really? That's
never
what's
sought
up.
out her services. But
Look at that. Look at that.
in light of TMI. But then again, she was on the show.
She puts it all out there.
Trying to get me an appointment with her.
Sure, no. Shout out to Winnell.
It all connects. It's all full circle.
I feel like someone in the street's like, oh, no. When you going to take care of my pussy? You can't take
I mean-
What? What? This is why they don't have like steaming things for dicks and stuff. Because that's what it would
Steaming
sound
things
like.
for dicks.
Yeah. Hey,
Boy.
Roger.
Jeez.
My balls? You ain't got time for my balls?
You say steaming things, I'm now thinking like steamed vegetables and like your dick getting
my
real
God.
soft.
A dick when you
God.
pull the top
So
off, there's
tender.
a dick just sitting there like, ah. Okay, so anyway, I did warn you before you came.
Wow, that went super left. I'm so sorry.
Nope.
No,
it's
no.
fine.
I
No.
may have
No, it's
helped
Darren's
catapult
fault. Yes, you
the
did.
topic,
It's all
but
your fault.
it's okay.
It's Darren's
our
fault.
fault. It's her fault. So, Miss Candy, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, man? I know that's a great segue, right?
All right,
Steamed
besides
dicks.
the fact that I've
Tell me
not
about
been
yourself.
vaginally steamed.
I want to go home already.
Rewind. Let's take it all the way back. Okay, let's take it all the way back.
Oh man.
So my name is Candace, actually. So candy is a play on words, but it also has more of a meaning to it because if you think about candy, it has lots of different flavors, right?
Oh.
So I do have a business card. I'll give you one. I'll whip one of those out, but it says, "What's your flavor?" Because of the fact that I can play everything. I'm classically trained, as you mentioned earlier, that you thought of the violin as just being like your Beethoven and your Bach. Yes, and I know how to play all of those. I know how to read sheet music. I can sight read. I've been playing since I was 8 years old.
Wow.
Back when music programs were a thing in public schools and you could rent an instrument.
Yes,
So I
yes.
knew in kindergarten that in the 3rd grade, which was when you were allowed to do it, that's the instrument I wanted to play. I had no outside influence. I don't know why I wanted to play it. I was just drawn to it and I wanted to learn, and I never put it down. I picked it up in 3rd grade. I had an education all through up through 12th grade, but beyond high school, I don't have any formal education. I'm pretty much self-taught beyond that.
Wow.
I've always played, and the stuff that I'm doing now, that people are really I'm finding out they really enjoy it, and I'm kind of surprised by it because I'm just like, like I said, I follow lots of violinists myself, and I watch, and it's not new to me them doing these things because I'm familiar with it. That's my interest.
Right.
But up against those people, I've always felt like, man, I can do what they're doing, but I didn't go to Juilliard, and I didn't go to college and study music theory. I didn't do this. So I've always kind of sold myself a bit short. But within the last year, I kind of threw myself out there. But I want to say within the last 10 years of my playing career, I just decided I want to do something different with this instrument. Besides sheet music, it was impressive to me to see people play without needing a music stand and notes. That is more of a challenge in playing. I can do the most intricate, crazy things and techniques with sheet music, but to be able to play by ear was a desire I had. And honestly, 10 years ago when I first started, I was like, I just stuck my headphones in and just started playing, and it sounded like absolute trash. I would never have stood in front of anyone doing what I was doing, but now I'm literally to the point where I can just play by ear. So when you saw me at the District with Mike Rollins, he approached me on Instagram. I've never played with his band. We never practiced. It was complete impromptu.
I love it.
That's awesome.
That's jazz right there.
Completely
that's the vibe,
unrehearsed.
yeah.
And I've never even played with a saxophonist. And I was excited about it because the violin and the saxophone, they're like the two goddesses of instruments. They're known they have a reputation of being kind of like the sexiest instruments, but they're also both lead instruments.
I was gonna say how that worked with
So
the sounds for the two of y'all.
me keeping it in mind that he was the lead, I asked him, I said, what kind of music do you play? And he sent me a long playlist of different things. And it was all these throwback R&B songs and neo soul. And I was like, I actually never really vibed out to that. I've never even played along with that genre before.
Wow.
So all of it was completely out of my comfort zone. So to see that people loved what I did, that kind of gave me a confidence boost. I was like, oh, that's not so bad. But that was, all of it was completely new to me. I like to play along to contemporary and alternative, like the popular music that's on your iTunes hit list, not throwing it back to like Marvin Gaye and stuff, but I love Marvin Gaye, but I had a really good time. So
That's dope.
glad to be here, and I'm looking forward to more opportunities to share it, but that's the violin piece.
So, because we used to go outside.
You used to go outside.
Used to go outside now, here and there, but
Right.
I had never seen Candi the Violinist anywhere, social media, nothing until
Yeah.
this year. So like, did you just like start with the social media presence and whatnot?
Definitely. And there's a whole like another layer of why I've kind of been in hiding.
Yeah.
So, and it's part of my story, but I'm a domestic violence survivor. I was unfortunately the father of all three of my children was very physically abusive, so I kind of came to Rhode Island to get lost. So I was basically under a rock on purpose. And I finally got my divorce after 5 years of being separated from this individual. Finally got my divorce finalized, and I was like, forget it. I'm gonna make a music page, and I don't have to be private, and I dare him to come find me now at this point, because it's out there. And me breaking the silence about what I was going through saved my life, so I have no shame about it anymore. And plus, not to mention, it may help someone else out that hears me.
Yes,
So
indeed.
my violin now has become something way more than me just playing an awesome song. I'm actually using that as part of my platform to speak at events. I've played at multiple different domestic violence charities, things to support that cause for survivors, and I'm delivering a message with it. So it goes hand in hand. Besides the fact that I love to play, I'm always going to play whether someone listens to me play or not. What I'm doing now is stuff I've been doing in my bedroom by myself for my own enjoyment, and now I get to share it. And I also get to speak out about a very huge part of my life that I don't want to say I'm glad I went through it. However, if I didn't go through some of the things I went through, I would not be where I am today. So there's a whole lot more.
Yeah, those things, they make us
to
who
it.
we are.
They do.
Yeah, and congratulations on
Thank
getting
you.
out of a
Yes.
bad
So
situation.
in a roundabout way, that's why you haven't heard anything from me, because I was kind of like laying low. I'm also not from Rhode Island.
I was going to say, where you from?
I've lived in 7 states. I'm a bit of a nomad.
Hey.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
The hand went under the chin, like what? Yeah. So I'll run down really quickly. No, I'm not military.
I was going to say, usually a military
That's
brat.
always
or
the
Army
next
brat.
question.
Yeah.
But my dad was just relocation package happy, and would just hop on the next deal, and off we went.
So he wasn't
No, he
like a
wasn't
CI or?
No, he actually was in. He was, in the medical field doing. Not a doctor, but he was director of environmental services. But he was so like renowned for going in and getting these hospitals cleaned up. They have regulations and things they have to meet, that they would want to snatch him up because you don't come up to code like OSHA. All that stuff. I mean, it's more than, when you think about environmental services, that's a huge label.
Like, even
Anything
when
that
you
has
throw
anything to
anything
do
away,
with keeping the hospital clean and hygienic and all of that stuff. He was the director of that entire thing.
Wow.
So he used to kind of get lots of relocation package offers, and we would just move. We moved a lot. But from the very beginning, I was born in Philly.
Okay.
However, I only lived there till I was 8, so I don't identify with the city of brotherly love.
All right.
But I do remember the pretzels off the street. Philly, then it was New Jersey, which is pretty much where I had. South Jersey was most of my career, about an hour north of Atlantic City.
Okay.
Atco. That's why I said Atlantic City. You would know, who knows Atco,
I never
right?
even heard that before.
Exactly. So anyways, from South Jersey, I went to New York, upstate in like White Plains, New York. I lived there for a little bit. Went to high school in White Plains. Then from New York, I went to Virginia. From Virginia, we went to Ohio. By the time I was in Virginia, too, I was moving around in my college career, which that was a disaster. I went to 3 different colleges.
Oh.
So Virginia, then Ohio, then North Carolina,
My goodness.
and then I fled to Rhode Island because as much as I've come to love this cold, frigid, horrible, tiny state,
That is the best description of Rhode Island.
like,
Kinda, yeah.
if you can get through the winter here, it's quite rewarding in the summer and spring. But
Facts.
I mean, talk about total culture shock when I came here. But I literally came here to get lost. It was somewhere I could come where nobody would look for me or have an idea. I had a friend that I went to college with who was stationed in Newport with her husband.
Got it.
And this was a friend I wasn't allowed to talk to anymore. I'm air quoting. I'm on a podcast. So it was, she literally took me and my 3 boys in. So I left when my
Thank goodness
oldest
for
was
her.
10. Yeah, she took us in. Well, I had to stay with her for about 2 months before I had my own stuff. And I've literally been here ever since. Got my own job, got my own car, got my own place. Got a lot of different things in place. Therapy.
Word.
Shout out to therapy.
Yeah, and mental health matters. And that is a thing that's not like popular in the Black community, which is another huge effort with the sidebar for the EBRG I talked about. Anyways, we'll mention that later. Anyhow, so
we had a conversation before you came, Darren.
yes, yes,
That's
sorry,
all right.
yes.
It's fine. I know
Darren looks mad he got left
I
out.
am. I was just like,
Tammy's like, I want to know.
So I'll just stick it in really quickly.
Oh, hey.
Oh God, that was horrible.
she fits right in.
I bet she does.
Hey,
What's in this cup?
I'm out.
Who made this drink?
Hey, pour by Joe Riz.
For the record, the answer is her. She made her own drink.
her.
Word, ain't no Bill Cosby.
Doesn't
or
get
nothing.
God.
she wanted. I don't know
I
what
guess-
they did to me on the show.
I'm a little hot now. I take my jacket
Yeah,
off.
get comfortable. Get cozy.
So, but yeah, so at work, I head up the employee business resource group called the Black Council at Blue. I work for Blue Cross, and it's the first employee business group made for people of color with this company ever. So that's been pretty cool.
Very
Nice.
I'm the secretary for that. But that was a sidebar that, yes, the lovely Jen and I had discussed.
Yeah, look at this.
And mental health in the Black community. So there. Sorry, super long tangent. Totally off
This
subject.
is exactly what the show is about. Tangents.
Right? Tangent.
Especially from this young lady.
Excuse
yes.
me?
Yes, you.
Excuse me.
Yes. Well, again, do you prefer Candace Candy?
So here's the funny story about that. I always hated Candy. I've hated for people to call me Candy, but people do it by default. Some people let it go. Some people are like, no, can you please just call me Candace if we're not that close? But very recently, I adopted the name Candi The Violinist by suggestion of a great friend, since we're doing networking here. Snabby
Okay.
Davy Nails, okay? Yes, Snabby, that's S-N-A. Okay, never mind. I need to look this up. I tried to do
I was
it.
in there, Joe. What's next?
No, I'm not. I'm not that good.
I just realized the other time
It's a
Finch
really
had a
cute
shadow
name,
DC.
but I know. Okay, yes. So it's SNAVII
Okay.
DAVI _ nails. She does great nails. Anyhow, lovely friend of mine. She suggested the name over the summer when I was like, you know what, I want to get serious because I was starting to do a little bit of stuff here
Like
and there.
This
with, like,
summer, like of 2019?
literally, like when I tell you, I literally made my unprivatized a music page just this past summer. The feedback has been unbelievable for me. I never I'm not famous by any means. That's not what I'm saying. But you're talking about going from playing on my couch to people asking me to do things. I've had some paid opportunities, some not paid so much, but like it's all just a work in progress. But anyhow, she suggested the name for me. And I thought to myself, you know what, that really has a ring to it. And it has a meaning. It's a play on my name because people call me Candy anyway. But then I was like, Candi _ the Violinist. Candi the Violinist. So let me tell you the problem I've had with Candy. Candy sounds like a $2 hooker.
A little bit.
I never wanted, right? What do you think? Like, I just didn't want people calling me that. Like, I'm
Right.
like, who's going to take me seriously if I'm running around calling myself Candy?
Right.
Well, Candi the Violinist.
That puts
Hello?
the pinky in the
Right?
air.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
does.
yeah, yeah.
It totally, totally bougifies
Mm-hmm.
Candy. Yeah, you like that shit, don't you?
I cost more than $2.
Bougified.
I get
That
it.
is nice.
I get it. Bougified.
It's a fact.
It bougifies it.
Ben
So
feels
Or
it.
with bougified
I can't. I was
Darren.
like, okay. I'm like, I
Fine.
can do Candi the Violinist because I sure enough don't know no violinists that are hookers.
Right.
At least,
If you're a violinist and a hooker, just
please,
reach out
please,
to
please let me
leave
know,
this-
and then I will have to retract everything about my beliefs. So that's where I'm at with it.
Okay, so if it's Candy, it's attached to the
Yes,
violinist.
the violinist. But am I gonna look at you crazy because you call me Candy? No, I will be fine and address it. But people that are closest to me call me Candy or Candace. But at work, it is Candace. Ain't nobody calling me Candy at work. We're not going there.
I know that's right, girlfriend.
I don't even know what to call her now.
You can call me
Candy
Candy.
the violinist?
That's like a mouthful, though.
Queen of England?
I realize that.
I feel like breakdancing now.
Alien.
Darren, you're dumb.
That was good. That was
That
good.
boy good.
That was good.
Like, I absolutely can't. So I just want to say one more thing about the Candy piece too. Another reason why I was like, all right, let's go with it. It's because of the versatility of the music I'm able to play.
Right.
I'm classically trained. I read your sheet music. I got all your basic stuff, stuffy idea that you think of when you think about a violin, but then I can do the whole flip side of it, and I can play to a song that you are listening to that's popular music. I literally can play to anything, any genre at all. So my business card says, what flavor would you like? Right?
That sounds kind
She
of.
could deliver.
So yeah, so it's all encompassing.
What was that, Darren?
It does have the tone.
Oh, I thought you said it's so-so.
No,
I was
not like
that's
no.
rude.
It's a great line. It just
It
the
looked like you
tone,
went.
the
Yeah.
tone just kind of
Yeah, that's
like
nice.
oh.
Your ears heard it
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
Darren,
yeah,
is all.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
all.
so when
that
I
is.
really explain it, like it's more than just, I thought it was cute or pretty, fluffy, and it has a lot of depth to it, even though it's just the word candy.
So, question. Because my
When Bim does this.
no, stop.
I wish you guys could see this. This is holding the face, both hands to the chin, like.
So my experience with violinists as a kid was, classically trained in an orchestra until early high school for us. Marie Ben-Ari.
Yes.
So,
Oh yeah.
Benar,
yeah.
yes.
as a young violinist, when you saw that in the mainstream hip hop, what did that like? Did you get any different feelings about playing the violin?
So
at
I
that
have
age?
to be 100% honest and say that I recently stumbled across her. The first person that
From back then, you're
Right.
good.
He pulled that.
Oh,
the
come on,
first
man.
person that put it on for me is Lindsay Sterling. The first person that turned on the switch that I was like, oh my God, the violin can do that. And she doesn't play to hip hop necessarily, but she plays to dubstep. And
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
I gotta
Matter.
check this
I
out.
know how to play every single last one of her songs, but it's on sheet music. And she is, not only does she play, but this girl is like a ballerina and dances all over the place while she is playing her
she's
instrument, bends her back over, like puts herself in a pretzel. And I'm like, I'm just trying to do your notes,
Right.
which are already intricate.
who that did
Lindsay
again?
Sterling.
Okay.
Look her up. And Lindsey. And
she has a
or
sexy
maybe
name.
S-A-Y. Yeah, Lindsay and Sterling is S-T-I-R.
Lindsay Sterling, that's like a sexy name.
Yeah.
She should pop right up if you start
Hey-o.
Googling.
Hey.
But
Yep, there she
that's
is.
actually the first violinist
Is
that
it?
like got my whole appetite whet for like, wow, I want to learn how to do that. And then I challenged myself. I bought whatever she made sheet music for, I bought it.
Wow.
And I've taught myself every single one of her pieces. And in doing that, I upgraded myself because I was like, wow, I can do that with my fingers. Oh, that's pretty cool. So,
I'm sorry, it was right there.
It was.
Jen.
Poor thing.
I
she's not
keep
even- she's not
saying
even-
things.
She's not even thinking.
Stick it in, do it with my fingers.
We're
She'll
immature.
find-
Terrible.
We're
It's-
immature.
It's fine.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
It's okay. It's fine. It is what it is. There's sexual connotations
It's a
like
sex
underneath
instrument.
everything I say, and I don't mean to.
It's not your fault. I'm
It
just
isn't.
immature.
It's not my fault. I'm just immature.
But I love the versatility of the violin now. I saw a gentleman, he was playing chopper style on a violin,
You know-
and that it just makes me happy.
You know what I've noticed recently on social media though, and I'm like, is it me? But I feel like there's an uptick in people playing the violin in like on social media and on TV and doing it cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like there's a few
Yes.
people I've started following people like a few months ago, and I'm like, why am I following violinists? I don't know, but they're
Right.
cool.
Super
So
cool.
it's like a it's
And now
Renaissance. I
you
like
do. You look around, you see a lot of it. You see us in the studio. You see people like, hey, like, and I think 'cause it's just like, it's breaking the norm with that instrument.
Right.
It is completely transforming what people like. I don't know. You think about the violin, and you just you have a different idea about it. So when
Yeah.
you get your appetite wet, and you're like, oh, wait a minute,
We can do this.
it could do that. Like it can do anything.
No, seriously.
And then I honestly believe no two violinists sound alike.
I believe it. From some that I've heard.
As
yeah.
much as I've been like, man, and felt held back because I don't feel like I'm as good as certain people. I'm like, I have my style. I have the way I play it. Nobody's going to play it the way that I
Right.
play it. And people like what I do. So, you know what? You're kind of everybody. There's room at the table for everybody in their style. As much as I feel like, I'm like, what am I, just another hip hop violinist now?
No.
But at the end of the day, I'm doing what I love, and I'm putting my twist on something that I'm jamming out to. So later on, if I get an opportunity to share it, it's just a song I was listening to tonight in the car, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna play to that, and that's how it happens. I literally will just be like, I'm feeling this song, I make a playlist, and I go home and I just turn it on and I start. And I let it loop over and over until I'm like, yeah. But usually, if I'm vibing out to the song already, I come up with stuff in less than 5 minutes, and then from there, it's just building to make it, more complicated.
So, listeners, if you've never heard Candi the Violinist, stay tuned, and later on, we will treat your ears. Oh, yeah.
Wait, I like that. Yes. Candi treats your ears. Wow. Yo, you guys are giving me other slogans. Wow. Please delete this as life.
Come on now.
Wow. That was fun, guys.
And also, I saw you on your Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
You were in the studio with a legend.
Ooh, who was it?
Which one?
I only seen one.
Light flex.
I saw you in there with A-Rap Music.
Yes, I was.
Wow.
So I have to tell you, I have to be completely honest there. I did not know who I was in the studio. Because probably native, right? if I had known, I probably would have been like, oh shit. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know nothing about him. I know the individual that owns that studio, so he's kind of like put me in front of a few different really amazing artists that come there and use his space, and I found out he actually doesn't usually collaborate with anyone.
No,
like at all.
No,
like he's never been seen collaborating with anyone. So but basically after I worked with some of his pieces, and then it was like, then I Googled the guy, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I was next to him.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So, and
Very
I feel
dope.
like that made it extra cool because it was just super organic.
Oh yeah. Did you get to see him on the MPC doing his thing, or was he just playing stuff he made already?
Yeah, he was just kind of looping some stuff. I didn't see him actually.
Oh, he is.
But yeah,
ridiculous.
I've already seen that too. And I was like, what in the world? Yeah. But
that's very dope.
Definitely pleasure. Super, super cool, laid back, doing this. And his beats are amazing. So for me to realize after the fact that I was like, that's who I was playing with, it was so dope. But pretty cool.
That's big. You like in a short amount of time, like being
real.
around certain companies. You're on this
to the winter?
podcast.
Yeah.
That was good, Bim. That was good.
I love it. Yeah.
I mean, sky's the limit.
Facts.
If her career takes a dive after this,
No, it won't.
I made it to the I know, that's it. I made it. I'm here.
Very, very dope. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I think for me, it's very dope that you play the violin, but it's even better that you are a person, a woman of color, that showcases your talents out there.
Right.
For me, anytime we have one of our own that's doing something amazing, we like to big it up. So definitely having you on the show was like a no-brainer at that point.
Awesome.
We've had Mike on the show. Probably got to get him back too.
Oh yeah, we'll get
so yeah.
That was so great playing with. I mean, he's an amazing saxophone player, and it was just so easy to play along with him because he's so good. It was a total vibe, the whole thing.
Yes.
So
very
and you were there, so we did quite a few songs. I mean, he was on set.
And you had a singer there too. I feel like
yes,
we're omitting
Donnell.
the singer.
I met Donnell Best, who actually I found out he's also a violinist.
No.
I said, okay.
Singer and violinist?
Yes, he does both. He sure does.
Get all the ladies.
It's a thing, right?
So
You know the saxophone was
and so yeah, even for me, so to meet another violinist that night, that was super special because you think of, for me, I'm like, oh, it's every day, I see it all the time, but then you don't think about it and you put it in perspective how many people know a violinist, and then we're still a very slim amount of people on the planet, probably one violinist to however many people who actually know someone that plays it. So when I put it in that perspective, then it starts making a little bit more sense to me. But
yeah, I hope with this boost of folks playing it in a different way, increases the amount of children that want to get into it. Usually, like, sports are cool, rapping is cool, these other things are cool. Instruments used to be cool. Darren plays the saxophone. Did you know that?
no, why wasn't you up there at District?
I'm not like you. I don't walk around with an instrument in the car. Just ready to play at a drop of a dime. Who wants to get this red saxophone? You want it? You want it?
Your sax is here. You should pull it out.
Nah, it's upstairs. I remember he told me not to keep it downstairs in the cold.
With the cold,
Yeah,
Mike did
It's
tell you
true.
that.
Upstairs, yeah.
It's true.
Yeah,
Mike is correct about
Yes,
that.
He is very correct. Shout out to Mike. So,
But I hope more children do it.
Yes.
Get back into it. Just like we
Definitely.
had the opportunities. Too bad public schools, that opportunity is not there like that. But that's how we got into
I
it.
don't think I ever asked you this. You played an instrument?
Just a recorder. Shout out to Mr. Shore.
Okay.
Just. Oh, he said just to
Shout
record.
out
I wasn't
to-
ready.
Yeah, shout out to
Don't do
Mr.
that.
Shaw.
You
Yeah,
remember?
he had the hump.
He,
Put that-
he did have
He
a
did
hump.
have a hump. He did. Well, I'm not.
He had it for real hump.
He did.
I believe
Like-
you. I just told you about
A for
amputee
real,
things.
a for
real
real
hump.
hump versus a
a
fake hump.
If you had a fake hump, imagine. He's got
lovely
home.
lady.
I'm just I just want to be
These damn
clear.
kids.
Honey, you pick up your hump off the floor, man.
For real hump.
So,
Oh boy.
yeah, so and speaking to my, so after we saw you on Friday, I went home to my girls. My eldest plays the cello, and
Yes.
my younger daughter plays the
Viola.
viola.
You
Thank
got
you.
some strings in the house.
Yes. So I was like, oh, I saw a really cool person playing really cool things, and look, this could be you. Because they're young women
Dad.
of color. Yeah, the
Gotta
young
see
women of
it.
color, they gotta see it to
That's
see that.
so
It's just, like
cool.
we took them to go see the Black Violinist, and we were like,
You
go
did?
that-
I remember that.
You were there. I was there
Yeah.
at the vet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there that night. Sure
Hey,
was.
shout out.
I caught the T-shirt.
Oh, you did.
It was like a 2XL.
Darren wants it.
You wanted
I do. But for our young people, we got to expose them to that and show them this is reachable. You this can be you. Like, it's not just because it's on TV that you can attain it. So, of course, my youngest daughter, I said, hey, if you want me to ask her any questions for you, shoot them out.
Well,
And
does that mean your daughter listens to the podcast?
no.
was gonna
After
ask
I
you.
told her.
Oh, so you're gonna
okay.
tell her the answers?
Yeah, I'm just
Oh,
gonna,
okay.
I'm gonna dictate. She said,
Okay.
so-
Jen has questions.
I do, but I'm just
You-
gonna keep it to myself.
So you answered most of these in when we went through. So I'm just
Okay.
gonna pick on one because I think it's kind of interesting. But she says, "Do you play for wedding/parties, etc.?" And I'm gonna add to that and ask, "What is the most interesting gig you've done?"
Good question. Good
Thanks,
I'll be
question.
trying.
So
Thanks, Les.
yes, I've done weddings. I get asked to do weddings a lot, and I actually, with this recent burst, I did develop business cards,
Hey.
take it a lot more seriously, so people can actually book me. But
Yes.
definitely, have done several weddings, which no two weddings are alike. It depends on what they want, but that's always fun. I've done. I play really anywhere. You got to think about a special occasion, which anything can be a special occasion. I feel like recently, honestly, the coolest thing that I got to do really was I performed with the lovely Anthony Sosa. Sosa
he was
X,
at
yeah,
Chip
Anthony
Show.
Sosa.
Oh,
yeah,
I think that's where I saw you. Yeah, I think I saw you at that
yeah,
show.
so we did a performance together, but that was on stage and everything at FET.
Yeah.
But we did a special performance for a couple at a restaurant, at Los Andes restaurant, a couple of months ago. And it was this guy who saw us perform, and he wanted us to do a private song performance for his girl. And it wasn't a proposal. He was just officially asking her to be his girlfriend. And he had us play.
The proposal's gonna be
Yeah.
out of this
Yo,
world.
right.
Yeah, he set the bar.
The bar's
Time
way too high.
out.
The bar's way too
Listen,
high.
Remember the guy who
He
proposed
booked
at the
us.
Oscars or whatever?
He booked us for a considerable good fee because we both had to make well on that.
yes.
Right? He paid double the price for two musicians
Whoa.
to play one song.
In a
And we
restaurant.
played Perfect by Ed Sheeran. And Anthony sung it, and I played my violin at the restaurant. And this was just for him to celebrate him courting her and
What a
asking her to
flex.
officially be his girlfriend.
What
Is this
Flex.
a younger gentleman?
Fairly mid-20s.
Because she
He don't
can't
know
say
no
no
better.
to that.
You can't say no.
You can't say no to that.
He don't
cannot-
know
She
no
was
better.
crying, okay?
Of course.
People that weren't at her table were crying.
Of course.
Which,
That is
when
beautiful.
people are brought to tears when I'm playing, that just
Man.
blows my mind, honestly.
That
But
is beautiful.
And I'm sure y'all killed it, but I'm mad at the guy who hired y'all.
Don't be
Let me
mad.
say, let me tell. Hold on.
No, speak,
Hold
Ben,
on. Let me
speak.
say
No,
why.
speak.
Let me say why.
No, because
young
he's-
brother.
that
Here
was
we
the
go.
most-
You say why,
nobody-
young brother.
Yes. Teach him.
Okay.
School him.
Here we go.
Grand gesture.
Let him know.
sir. But guess what? If she
If.
stays around,
If she does.
you somehow got to top that for birthdays, engagement, proposal, wedding, anniversaries and such,
Anniversaries.
Christmas.
Yes.
Reveals.
Reveals.
Baby shower.
Baby shower.
Baby shower.
When you get buff, when you get buff,
How do you top such things?
to be your girlfriend, that's what you do. That's what you ask
For that simple thing.
That's what you do. Okay.
Is this the Nigerian stuff coming out?
The
Is it?
Nigerian moment has
Is
begun.
it
Haitian,
Nigerian and Haitian?
Nigerian. But as a guy, you got, because women,
see what
y'all
you're saying.
appreciate things.
Me
Y'all
too.
appreciate things so much. But sometimes it becomes, what have you done for me lately?
Yo,
Ooh.
was it?
Oh my!
And Jen was way too happy to jump on that woo.
I love that song. I love Jen.
So wait, was this like a Tuesday? Was this like a Tuesday, Wednesday type of deal? Was it like Friday, Saturday? Like there's so much.
We should get him on the show.
Listen, no, we should not.
We
We
got
can afford this. So we got questions.
Because okay, but I'm thinking of it from the other end though.
For the lady or what?
Yes, because for you to make a grand gesture like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about them specifically because I don't know them and I don't want to ruin their movement. But like, what if like you know this girl, right? And you like her and you've asked her out and she's just like, no, you're my friend. Oh my God, my friend took me to dinner at Los Andes, and she just takes a picture of the food and not the person. You know, shit like that.
Oh, yeah, I seen it.
Right. And so you're like, all right, I'm going to get this dope ass violinist. I'm going to get this dope ass singer. I'm going to bring her to Los Andes, the hardest reservation to get
Right.
on that side of town on a Saturday. Right.
Right.
And then I'm going to ask her in front of all these people. And she's got to say yes.
Got to.
But what if she really just wanted a friend zone? But at that point, she has to say yes. And now she's your girlfriend.
Wow.
I've never thought about any of these details about these two beyond that because I was more concerned with the performance.
Hey,
As
you
you
get
should've
paid.
been.
Yeah.
As you
Very,
should
very
be.
interesting.
You're a professional to
Through
the
and
end.
through.
Through and
I'll
through.
be way too nosy to continue on. I'll be like, all right, so you're gonna book me, all right, by check,
about this?
credit, and why? Just so I can put in my notes here. Why are you doing this?
I have a feeling he was pretty sure that she was not going to say no. And, you know.
She would have to be a sociopath to say no.
Can you imagine?
Even if she didn't want to, in the moment, because it's so grandiose and there's people watching, you have to say yes.
Yeah, I don't, you know, I'd like to think that she was crying because she was so emotionally moved, but she could have been crying because she was like, oh, fuck.
Or my boyfriend is going to kill me.
Bim. That sounds funny, boo.
Nah, my bad. My bad.
But I'm just kidding. But no, it was really sweet. They were super
That
cute.
is
She
super
was
cute.
overjoyed. Like, she literally was just like, oh my God, I can't believe you did this. And she's just crying. And she stopped to hug him in the middle. I mean, it was
And
really
y'all played,
sweet.
and you're like, all right, well.
We're out now.
I wonder how long he was courting her. I have so many questions.
I think
many.
If you're listening, if you're out there,
Sir,
like no
sir,
bullshit, DM us, yo.
Yo, you could be anonymous. We won't.
Anonymous.
We can
but
do a written essay
We
type
could
thing.
block out your face and distort your voice.
We can type it. You want to join our group chat? We can just ask right in
Yo,
there.
man.
So the reason why I say that was probably the most special thing, like to date
sure.
so
Yeah.
far. When really to
That's
put it in
more emotion.
perspective,
That's
when
beautiful.
you talk about me sharing my talent with the world, I've really only been. I've done things very sporadically over the years, right?
Okay.
However, since the summertime, I've been kind of like booked
Kaboom.
and busy,
Yeah.
doing something every weekend, performing something somewhere. I've had some paid things, some not so much paid, but it's a little bit
Yeah.
figuring it out, balancing it out, and just finding my niche, really. But mostly, I have a message to spread. I have music that I love to share. So as long as people want to hear it,
Sure enough.
I'm here for it.
Your 2020 is going to be nuts. I'm putting it in the atmosphere.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
2020 is
I
gonna be
absolutely
crazy.
Definitely.
receive that. Thank you
Sure
so
enough.
much.
Definitely.
Where can the good people find you on social medias?
So they can find me on Instagram. My Facebook, I do have one, but it's kind of dead. It's not as active. But really, that's the only platform I'm using is Instagram and Facebook. I do have a YouTube.
There you go.
It's also not quite alive yet.
Okay.
Everything is in baby stages, okay? So I'm just more or less trying to put my information out there. But you can follow me at Candi_the Violinist on Instagram. I'm also Candi the Violinist on Facebook. And if you happen to catch me at any events, you following me there. I usually post where I'm going to be. Unless it's a private event, then I won't be posting. and we'll go from there.
Love it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I know we'll be in touch for several
Thank
things.
you.
We should do.
We should just have her, just hire her for something.
You know how you said you want to do karaoke? We should do live music karaoke. That
That's
should be a
a lot of
thing.
pressure for her. She oughta.
That should be a thing. That's a lot of pressure
Who
for the
paying?
singer.
They
to sing
cost
that kind of
money.
violin.
They cost money.
After she did,
We gotta pay her.
yeah. After she did the thing for the her rates must have gone.
Darren, I need you to watch your words.
Oh yeah, you're right. That sounds bad. All
You know
of this
what?
sounds bad.
You know what? To your point, though, when I realize what I can collect,
They
the
do the same thing
potential
all the
that's
time
out
with the
there,
DJ.
Yes.
you start to kind of like, you know what?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
You have to set your value point,
Yeah.
or you will be completely taken advantage of. There's a difference between me volunteering to do something just because I want to do it with my time versus you asking me to come do something. You know, I just feel like, especially in this world where lots of people are either having their own businesses or they're trying to do things for themselves, we need to support each other and have respect in that sense and appreciate the time that people put into things. And I'm going to put it like this. At one point I was like, well, I was only going to play for a few minutes, but it's like, you know what? You're not charging people for the 2 minutes.
Right.
You're charging for the years,
That you
the
put in.
20 plus years
Come on
you
now.
went into learning that instrument, because nobody was in that room with me when I was crying tears and it sounded like a cat crying, trying to make something come out of that violin. So
true.
that came with persistence, diligence, and it's a hard instrument to play. It's hard to hold it. For a week alone, my teacher just made me hold the thing without the bow, just under my chin. Like, she made me get to the point where I could hold it without my hands. So, and that was very painful to do. It's not an easy instrument to learn to play, but because I wanted to play it so bad, I did good at it.
That's
and I
an-
love it. I enjoy it.
That's an important point you made, because Darren DJs. I used to DJ, but
You
we
still
would
DJ?
Still do
whatever. We would like we would undervalue ourselves, and we've been doing it
Right.
over 10 years. But
Right.
seeing what people get for it, we would well, it's it's just a side thing, or
Yeah.
I already own all the. It doesn't matter.
Right. That's
Michael
not the point.
Buffer gets like $1 million to say, "Let's get ready to rumble."
Literally.
That's
There's a
way
base-
less complicated than playing the violin.
Way less.
That's crazy, actually.
Right.
But when you put it in perspective like that, and then it's like, yeah, well, and the other part of it too is me where I would worry about, well, what if they can't afford it? That's not my
That's not
problem.
my problem.
Not your
Right.
problem.
Exactly.
Absolutely not my problem.
Exactly.
Because there's someone out there who can.
Come on. It's true.
So I mean, it just, and then I'm a single parent. Any time away from my kids really needs to be justified
Yeah,
at this
yeah,
point. So I
indeed.
kind of had to start saying no to some things, because people really started kind of flooding me with like, hey, I want to work with you. Hey, I want to work with you. Hey, I want, but like, you can't just
Say yes to all.
say yes to all of that and get excited. Oh, I just want to play my violin. At some point, it's like,
yeah.
let's be real. If I was looking for a service from someone, I will have to compensate that person. So it should be reciprocated. Unless again, there's some other pre-existing arrangement and it's just a charity event,
Right.
volunteering your time. If I want to do a showcase just for fun, because I want to share something with public,
And the crazy part is, if you put your price low thinking, okay, I'm gonna get more customers because my price is low, you actually,
you hurt yourself.
because then people are like, oh, she's only X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
She's probably not even that good.
And another, I'm going to piggyback off of that. And another person I'm going to shout out, because this is great, a podcast opportunity, Pearl Farquharson. She is a party event planner. She's amazing. I'll have to spell her last name because it's not the way it sounds exactly. But anyhow, she
Is
gave
there a
me
Q in
this really wonderful piece of advice. And she said to me, when I was first getting into the waters of starting out there with my violin and, making a profession out of it, and she said to me, you can look at it this way. You can have a bunch of small fires, a bunch of small fires to try to get your result, or you can, which is a lot more work to manage, or you can have just 3 big, huge fires. Less hands in the pot, and you get more return on your time. And so I had to kind of put that into perspective of just dropping your price. Do this for $30, do this for $40, a bunch of little tiny jobs all adding up, and you're all over the place because the same time and effort has to go into those tiny fires, right? So yeah,
Yeah, that's true. I like it. Lesson to the listeners: if you got something going
You can
on,
apply that to anything.
word. Value your craft. They're paying you for a reason.
And they're paying you more for the memory, and
Word.
memories are priceless. So
Sure.
whatever you charge is less than infinity. So you're never overcharging.
Right. I like that too.
Come on,
I
man.
like
Put
it.
that in your pipe. and
Granted,
smoke
at
it.
the same time, I'm a reasonable individual.
We'll see.
You hit her up for something?
It's only
I'm
been since the
reasonable.
summer. Hit her up next
see.
I'm gonna be
December.
working outside later. Can you just play some music
While
in the
I
background?
gather the leaves, can you?
Can you play something very quick? $1,000? How could you?
All you did was pick up your bow.
I can get somebody else to do it. No, but that's very, 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 very dope.
I thought he was going through something. I was like, whoa, hey.
It was a lot of varies. You thought I was having a seizure or something? Wow. It's not funny. Jesus Christ.
Say, wait, hey, friend.
I just kept going.
It's not burnt toast, right?
Anyways,
Me and Dylan, sorry, real quick.
I don't know.
Me and Dylan were going somewhere.
Give it to son.
And I was driving.
Okay,
That's
thanks.
my son. He's
Thanks.
14 now. Yo, D, what up? You should
No,
be
he should
listening.
not listen to this.
No, definitely not.
It's not me.
So we were driving somewhere, and I'm driving, and I smell burnt toast. I said,
Yo, is that
I'm
scary?
scared in my head, right?
I've done that.
And then I hear my son. He's like, Dad, you smell that? I'm like, what do you smell, son? He said, it smells like burnt toast. I said, oh, your old man thought he was having a stroke. He said, imagine if we both had a stroke.
Oh, that's an if you
Yo, he said that? He's funny. Get him on the show, yo.
It hurts. It hurts.
That's funny.
I don't want to do any of this. Oh my god.
You ever have a moment where you like that where you think you're going crazy, like you either hear something or smell something?
All the time. Have you met me?
I guess. But like I don't know, it's happened one time to me, and I felt like I was losing my mind. Like we went out to
felt
eat or
like-
something. No, because we went out to eat, right? And so I don't even know how this even became a thing, but there's like a song in Zelda, in the video game, right?
Okay.
So
I remember
weird,
that game. Wow.
right? But there was
Took
like
me
a
way back.
specific song in there, and for some reason I heard it. But it's not even like I played Zelda anytime recently.
That
I don't know.
sounds real
Yeah,
crazy.
it wasn't even like I don't know where this came. But I'm in the restaurant like, yo,
You
like
look crazy.
I was. Carp was like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" I'm like, "You don't hear that?" Like all loud too. Yo, you don't hear Zelda right now? She was like,
Wait,
"What?
what?
Yo, right?" Carter was like,
not
like
okay.
a year and a half. I was like, yo, for real though, you don't hear Zelda,
I am not okay right now.
And so then I had to like,
No, I
like,
mean me.
I
I'm
know.
not okay.
So then she was like, what are you talking about? So I'm like, so there's this level with Zelda. I had to go through the whole thing, and I was like, yo, I hear it for some reason. As soon as I said it, the waiter comes like, can I help you guys with anything? Is everything good? And I was like, is somebody back there playing Zelda? Like, I was losing. I kept hearing it.
Oh my
I was like, am I having is this what happens before you die? Like, so, I'm sorry.
Please and peas.
All done.
I
All
can't.
done.
Wow.
So no one was playing Zelda?
It's
You
my
never got
knowledge now.
confirmation on that.
I never heard it again either.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Scarily
We are
interesting.
humans.
Yo, I'm sorry.
Oh my god, you slept in front of a person you just met.
Yo,
Boy.
What if she was like, all right, that's my cue. All right, I'm off.
All right, so yeah, Candi
okay.
the Violinist.
Yes,
Instagram.
yes,
what is
yes.
that? Yeah. I'm not doing this
Where
no
is
more.
my bow? I need a weapon.
Oh boy.
You don't want to play this on them? No. I'm fine. Keep the violin. I don't need it. I'll be back.
Yeah.
Just get my water.
Oh, fuck.
It's definitely trauma if I leave that violin.
Oh, man, none of that. How many do you have?
I have just two.
Okay.
Just two.
Yeah, no, just two. And actually, it took me years to even have one.
That's what I'm saying. Just two. Don't say just two.
You're right. I need to take a step back and appreciate the fact that I have an electric violin as well as this acoustic, which I have here tonight. However,
Dummy
the
moment.
acoustic,
Yeah, me
okay,
too.
You plug it in.
electric
Like an
violin.
electric guitar.
Yes.
So you need an amp for it
Yes.
to. Okay.
Yes,
Gotcha.
yes. So I have an electric violin.
I did that. for
Yeah,
violins.
I actually got my first violin that I got that was mine that wasn't a rented instrument from school. My dad bought it for me in the 11th grade, and it was an electric violin, the Yamaha SV100.
She
it
remembers.
was like before its time. So my electric violin is literally 20 plus years old.
Wow.
Like,
Oh, same one you still
oh
have?
yeah, it's the same one. It's 20 plus years old. I've had to have it repaired a few times, but she sings just as good. But this one here is actually just a year old. That's the first violin that I bought with my own money.
Really?
Dope.
Yep, and I
Wow.
got it maybe a year or two ago.
Um,
So yeah.
Have you ever had, because former DJ, equipment fails sometimes back before I switched to Serato. Needles would break. Different. Ever have anything like that with the violin?
Matter of fact, one of the very first big shows that I did this summer, I was going to perform with my electric violin. And I had just got done sharing my story of domestic violence survival because it was at a domestic violence survival event. I shared my story and I get up there to go play and it was shorting out. I started playing and it was like, I was like, oh my God.
That's the perfect reaction right there.
I didn't know what to do and I was trying to fix it. And I was like, okay, you know what? But for some reason that day, something in my spirit was like, just bring both of your violins.
Oh.
And I had no intentions of needing that acoustic. But that thing started crackling and it was after working perfectly all day long. Because I told you, it's 20 plus years old, but she was acting crazy. So I was like, you know what? I had to stop. I was like, I'm going to get my other violin, guys. Just bear with me. And like the audience was so supportive.
Love it.
And they loved the way, I found out later that they loved the way I handled it because I was unflustered. I was unmoved. I was done with it. I was like, this is not going to stop me. I went, they loved that I had my backup and I broke out my acoustic and I killed the song. So, definitely have had equipment fail.
That must have been like a great metaphor for like the event itself. You know what I mean? Like not letting anything stop you.
No way.
Don't let it be
Yo, you're giving me goosebumps, Jen.
Take this shit, man. Tired of this shit. Take your money back. I'm out.
The devil's not about to play me today.
Good job, yo.
So definitely have suffered from equipment fail just recently.
Good shit.
So then other than that, you know, your bow could snap, it could break, but I have 3 bows.
That's the thing. You would have more of backup.
Yeah, you really, you're less likely to have an issue with a string, but I do have extra strings. Yeah. Sometimes they pop, but yeah, that's kind of.
has a story like that.
Have to think ahead.
No.
What happened?
We went to Rosendale and his laptop failed and somebody didn't bring the extra one like I suggested.
Just because you know everything don't mean I always gotta listen to you.
Right, exactly.
Shoot.
But then Darren used the other DJ who was there's laptop and he didn't even know his music catalog and he still did well. Except for that one lady was upset, you know. She wanted to go higher.
She wanted to go higher, yeah.
But other than that.
Should have drugged her. Sorry.
Wow.
I don't know.
You could definitely have that.
She just kept walking in front of Darren and going, take me higher.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Should have drugged her, see?
He's trying to DJ with his music he don't know. He's already like upset.
All right, well, bitch, I can't. You got the wrong one.
Not your dealer.
I can't do that for you.
Not your dealer.
That's funny.
So what we're talking about today, guys.
So I wanted to revisit something we mentioned last week because y'all be forgetting stuff.
The 90s.
I'm
on it today, guys.
So-
I earned my check.
So Candi the violinist,
Yes.
Alien. So we,
Wait, what?
you saw Coming to America.
Yes.
Alien.
Slip that in there.
Alien.
Okay.
Do something.
Oh boy, you guys are great.
So this is episode 91.
I understand that. That's fantastic.
So
It's kind of wild.
we're children. We're born in the 80s, but we're 90s babies essentially. So things that happened in 1991. I just want to dig up a few things.
That's fun.
Pop
That's
culture,
cool.
TV wise. Doug, the
Doug!
cartoon
How did I
premiered.
know you were gonna say something about Doug? How did I? That's my shit.
Well, we
Love that
theme
cartoon.
song. Yeah.
Play it on the violin. Go ahead. No.
That'd be fire. Also, for you, Jen,
For me.
Maury,
Debut.
1991.
I know that's
Was
right.
it
I was
debut?
watching it back then.
Also with Jerry Springer.
Yep,
And
they also come together.
Tupac dropped his debut album, Tupac Lips Now, in 1991.
Oh wow.
Only 5 years before he died.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's tough to think about how short that was. But yeah, 1991. 90s, baby, we
That's
here.
crazy.
We here.
I love it.
1991, my brothers came here from Africa.
Oh, see? Look at that.
I remember that. It was during the Gulf War.
So he had a real coming to America.
Boom.
Come on now.
On it, baby.
All cylinders, people. Listeners, we're on all cylinders tonight.
Talking about going off the dome. Huh?
Come on.
Yo.
So you were moving around a lot.
Yeah.
But what was your 90s like? Because to go from state to state, styles are different from here to there.
True.
Like,
I don't know how much you absorb any of that as
Yeah.
a like growing teenager. You know, I was kind of socially awkward, mostly because I was always the new kid. I was an ugly duckling too, actually, in my opinion. I feel like I was a bit of a dork. I played my violin. I was in marching band.
I would've called you a dork.
You know, I was a total dork.
Wow.
I was a biology major when I went to college.
Total
So like
dork.
total science geek. Yeah, I was.
You're not listening to Blow at all.
I was a goody two shoe dork. So
Communications majors.
yeah.
just because it's
I
a second high
probably,
school
like-
diploma. Leave me alone.
I,
I know the jokes. I know what you say about us.
At least you got one.
but I remember the 90s very vividly. Like, I was really into Nautica. Like, having a Nautica fleece sweatshirt was like, you were really cool.
Yes.
Or FUBU.
Yes.
I remember wanting one of those.
Remember when them little foamy things that would come with the Nautica stuff? Like
Yes.
usually with the jackets with
You
the
like
little.
for the keychain
Yeah.
and whatever.
Ugh.
Yeah, they were dope. Like, you were doing something if you had one. I had a bright yellow Nautica fleece. I wore it everywhere.
Come on now.
Like,
Oof.
yeah, I
90s
remember
is
feeling
fire.
really great.
Look at this guy, so happy.
90s
Sorry,
were
man.
bomb.
Yeah, that was man.
Reminds me of that episode of Atlanta.
Yo,
That was a good episode.
that's a good show, man.
When's that shit coming back? Didn't he say 2020?
I think so.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. It's been forever.
Hurry up, Donald.
Donald, whatever the hell
Get
you're
on it.
doing.
Didn't he stop rapping?
I
Didn't he
don't
retire
know.
from rapping or something? I could have sworn I heard that.
I don't know. He was like filming Star Wars or
Nah,
something.
okay.
Yeah, he got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Oh, rest in peace, Juice WRLD. Super sad.
You got-
Oh,
Yeah.
That is
yes.
Yeah.
terrible. And like, you know, I was going through my playlists. I was like, let me see. Like, I had so many songs with him on
Yeah.
throughout my playlist. So he did a lot of collaborations, with a lot of people. I've seen a lot of violinists paying tribute, playing. Dang, I wish I would have thought about that. Shoot, they beat me
Would have
to
been
it.
good. Would have been good for your YouTube.
But you know what? Yeah. So
okay.
You can still do it. Yeah.
it's all good. You know, I can jump on some other wave some other time. I'll have to do the latest thing that everyone's doing. But literally every violinist I've seen now that's in America anyway is playing a song dedicated to him. So
Well, rest in peace.
which is pretty cool, but still very sad.
It's just like life is so like unknown, so fragile.
It
Yeah, that's what I
is.
was trying to say. And it's like you could just be there a second and then go on the next.
Now, did more details come out? Because I know it was a seizure, but my son,
same
he listens to
seizure.
all of that. But
I saw TMZ posted something. I don't know if it's true or not. The last I saw, they said because he was on his private plane, and they had guns. According to TMZ, once again, I don't know, I wasn't there. And so the pilot alerted authorities because you can't have guns on a plane. So they knew the police were meeting them at the tarmac when they landed, and they had like a bunch of pills. So the story is he swallowed them to try to hide them from the police.
I heard the same, and I was hoping it wasn't true.
I don't know if it's true, but
Yeah.
I hope it's not true. But they showed the bags of weed that they confiscated. They were pretty large.
Yeah, and my first thing, because to have a seizure at that age, it's not, unless you already have a issue.
Well,
Yeah, it's,
I didn't want to speculate or anything, but I know that there's been talk and people are putting things out there about the lifestyle and
Yeah.
the lean that the kids are doing these days and just the kinds of the things that they subject their bodies to
Right.
early on, and they're doing like he's just 21, but you got to figure how long
literally
has he been
turned 21
diddling and
less than a
daddling.
week
And I don't
before
want to pass judgment. I don't know anything about
Right.
his personal
Right.
life, but it's just facts.
Yep.
Kids are doing things that I wouldn't even think about doing at their age.
Well, you
me
were like a
personally. But then
biology
again,
major.
we did just say I was a super goody two shoe, so that doesn't matter. Whatever.
Bim.
I just
Was,
clutched my
was
violin.
anybody at this table a rebel?
No, that's
In
why
the
I'm looking at
90s?
him like,
Were
What I
you?
did.
Were
You
you a
do shit.
badass?
You
I was
played-
an athlete.
you played football.
I was a
yeah,
Remember
yeah.
that guy.
I was a straight C student.
Just enough to keep the sports going, right?
Just enough to stay eligible.
Right.
Just enough not to get sent back to Nigeria.
Word.
Wow.
No, he's not lying.
Wow.
No,
On that
but,
note, I'm gonna tinkle. You keep talking.
Oh, you do that. So it's tinkle time for Jen.
Oh, all right. That's fine. Everyone knows now.
Yeah, she always lets us know.
She's not
The
even-
audience knows.
She'll be back in like 2 seconds.
All
But
right.
the good thing about it, well, not the good thing, but like now some rappers are saying, okay, I'm going to stop doing the pills and the lean and whatnot because Wayne was having seizures repeatedly years ago. Some of that we think was related to the lean. Rick Ross had seizures a few times, so he changed his lifestyle. So it's just seeing these things happen. And then Mac Miller, God bless him,
Yes.
he passed away, and it was drug related. So it's like, okay, at some point we got to wake up. You know, in the 90s, it was violence.
Right.
And now it's like people, drugs.
Right.
Like, we got to.
And it's because of, I feel like the times are different. I feel like people, a lot of people, there's this fun aspect, party aspect to it, but a lot of people outside of that are self-medicating when they're alone. They're having things to self-medicate. And at the end of the day, again, you got to talk about from a health standpoint, you know, you're going to be young, you're going to have fun, you're going to dibble and dabble and try things here, but you really got to look at your health.
Yes, absolutely.
And I feel like especially in our communities of color, and I'm going to get a little bit serious here. That's one of our big initiatives that I do with my company at Blue Cross to support the Black Council at Blue, is to make sure we're spreading awareness about mental health, about, you know, getting your preventive visits, and even things down to our diet. When you think about what soul food is, really, a lot of that stuff from soul food, like, we made it taste good, but it's because of what they gave us and forced us to eat, because what we had to choose from. But now they're household staple meals. Nobody shouldn't be eating any of that.
No.
You know, like,
That's so good.
so it is. It's
But
so good. But if you, it's all conditioned responses. It's stuff that's been passed down, and it's just out of ignorance and not knowing any better too. So there's a lot of factors. You talking about a 21-year-old having unexplained seizures. There are a lot of factors that built up to that happening. And I think it's besides the potential speculation of lean or drug use or anything else. But I think a lot of people might begin to go into a bit of an uproar. You know, like, of course they're gonna say he was doing drugs because he's another black man, blah blah blah. But you know, unfortunately, it's a reality that our young people are dealing with, because it's cool to do those things now.
Oof.
It's cool to do it.
That's
Like
that's
everybody,
scary.
like, let's be real. Everyone's doing it, unless you're not everyone,
Right.
And a lot of these kids are dealing with a lot of trauma that
and they are.
that's
Where
just.
did
I don't know what
I
happened.
mentioned self-medicating when you were
Yeah.
tinkling. So.
Yeah, the mental health.
She's like, she said tingle.
The mental health aspect is important because my son, 14 years old, your son probably as well.
I have a 14-year-old as well. I have 3 boys, 12, 14, and the 15-year-old will be 16 next week, actually.
Wow.
Awesome.
So the music, I'm listening to the music. I'm like, hey, why are they all so damn sad?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know. Some girl or something. I don't know. I'm not sad though. I'm like, all right, as long as you're good. But the music, it's the tone of it is very different.
Yeah.
I'm like, are they going something that we don't know about, like,
Yeah.
or is it following a trend of just making sad music?
And it's very different from how we were growing up. Like, I can't remember I was sad at 15, 16.
No, you
about
wanna get
something
girls or shoot
drastically.
somebody.
Yeah. I mean, not
Somewhere,
Maybe-
maybe,
Wanted to
or
get
somewhere in
Girls
between.
or
Maybe
shoot
not.
someone.
He's
maybe
scared
not
of
to
that.
that extreme.
Two
But
totally different
again,
ends of the spectrum.
yeah. So, but it's true. I think what the kids are facing today, there's already the disconnect that we are not going to get, because we're like, what you sad about?
Yeah.
Like, ain't nothing for you to be sad
ain't got no
about.
job.
Yeah, right. I'm sad, not you. But like my girls, like we try to have open lines of communication, and so they'll come to me with an issue, and I'm in my head, I'm like you mad because so and so talked to you and didn't talk to you, like. But we have to remember, from their perspective, that is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And some of it we have to lend to being born into social media. Like
Right.
social media came when we were in college.
AOL.
Y'all ain't.
Connecting.
You on the internet again? I gotta use the phone.
Seriously,
somebody
though.
yelled at you, just pick up the phone and kill your whole
I was
just
gonna
kill
say,
it.
like,
That was
we were the generation of the first,
Yeah, we were the guinea
instant
pigs for it.
messaging.
Right.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
So we had a base already, right, of
Of
life and
regular
going
emotions.
outside and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah.
So now being born into this at a young age, caring about what
Everything.
people are talking about online, what they're not saying. You didn't at me, I didn't get enough likes.
Yep.
Like it's got to be something different.
Totally different.
Sorry, bro.
You know how I know Darren's rich?
Oh,
Oh boy, did you use a soap thing?
I did use this.
it's automatic. It's an automated thing.
No,
It's
no, Bim. It's not automatic.
because of the holidays.
It lights the fuck up.
And it's saying
Wait a
Wait,
minute.
what?
You
Yes.
pump
Light
the soap. You pump the soap. and lights come.
And so you can see in the dark.
It's not no a few.
It's so you can see in the
like,
dark. You're already in there by then.
You already peed. You already flushed. You found the toilet. You found the flusher.
Oh
you found the
boy,
thing to
now you
turn
need
the
a
water on.
light up soap
It's
dispenser.
it's
And
a holiday.
it's not like it's lights up
That's
like a
how I
nightlight.
knew Darren was rich.
It's not like it
First
lights
of
up like a nightlight. No, it is flashing in your face.
I gotta see this thing.
Yeah, you
The
gotta,
wife bought it. You bought
Yeah.
it.
I love how you
bought
guys
it,
bounce
yes.
back and forth between your.
because that's how you know we mean it.
Oh, when the accent
Yeah,
comes
No,
out.
Yeah,
you
the
can't.
accent
I'm gonna bring it
comes
down
out.
to you because you have to go up 26 steps.
Oh
'cause
yeah, thanks. Yeah, because I don't want to do that. It'll take a while.
It's a
I
holiday
hate,
staple.
I hate the number of steps in your house. I'm not gonna stop saying that.
I'm sorry. It is a holiday staple in the
26,
Cruz Karen
26,
household. She got it a couple years ago.
You can't say boy and
I would
bro.
have, bought was coming out, but I was like,
Both would have been fine.
Yes.
Actually, in this sentence. You couldn't have gone wrong.
And every Christmas it comes out, and people love it. They come, oh my god, I love it. Did it sing? I think we got to change the batteries because it's supposed to
It
sing
takes
a song.
batteries.
Yeah. So I don't know where she got
Double
this
A,
dumb
triple
thing.
A.
Fuck if I know.
No. If
But
it's
yeah,
AAA,
it's supposed to
getting
it's supposed to
replaced.
light up and sing like a Christmas song or something like that.
How many clocks in my house are wrong? That goddamn double A
Never gonna
battery.
Finish this point.
I have no point with Jen. I just wait till she's done
You
laughing
really
at
should
me.
explain the goddamn dispenser, my man. Listen, it lights the fuck
I don't want
up.
you to think I'm out here like this rich because I got a
Because you
dispenser
got
that
twinkle,
lights
twinkle
up.
soap.
Twinkle twinkle soap.
Twinkle, twinkle soap.
Candace, what is your background?
So honestly, I just identify as Black American. I'm a light-skinned Black American.
That's fun.
People ask me all the time first of all, I need to say this. I did not know what a Cape Verdean was
I knew
until
it.
I
I
came
knew you
to
were gonna say
Rhode
that.
Island. I did not know about them. When I moved here, everybody thinks I am a Cape Verdean. I'm like, what? No, I'm not.
Fam, what is that?
I'm like,
What is that?
what are you talking about?
Oh, that's great.
Or like, I moved to Pawtucket for a moment.
Oh
There we go,
boy.
started
Yeah.
talking.
Oh my God. Everywhere I went, whatever the language, that broken Creole. I'm just looking at people like, English, please, English. I grew up in the white suburbs. I don't know what
boy.
to tell you.
She's looking at them like, no.
Like, I can't deal.
Oh, it
So,
hurt.
yeah, I did move around a lot, but my parents made sure that we lived in the white neighborhoods. I'm going to say that because my mom was crazy about what school we went to. She homeschooled us for a while at one point because we lived somewhere in Philly. She was like, absolutely not.
At
Not
that
going to
time,
school.
too,
I think
yeah.
it was called Decatur was the name of the school, too. It was like a really bad school, like shootings and stuff. But anyway, so I was always like the only Black person even around, or maybe there was like one of 5 wherever I lived. So there, that kind of went into a lot of my upbringing. Not necessarily, some of it good, some of it bad, but kind of growing up, not really knowing who I was and always feeling out of place. And I'm also going to say this too. The Black girls that I would meet or the Black people I would meet kind of didn't really accept me either. Like, oh, you talk like a white girl. Like, I can't win.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
I literally can't win.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the struggle.
So,
You know, so I'm just guilty of being light skinned. I'm sure someone snuck into my great granddaddy's mommy's cabin somewhere and it happened, but I don't know.
does that, how you were raised, does that make a difference for your kids to you? Like, do you mind that if they're in a public school that's primarily minority based, or
I'm
does that
now
make a difference
just
to you?
the opposite. Granted, I feel like here's my thing. I'm always going to teach my kids to not be a product of their environment wherever they are,
Show them.
right? Because that could be good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be your own person. You need to have your own morals. So as long as I instill those things in them and instill work ethic in them wherever they are, because you need to apply yourself wherever you are, whether I'm able to afford to live in the greatest neighborhood with the greatest school district, which I don't right now.
Mm-hmm.
We live in an area where it's not the best, but it's not the worst school system either. But I feel like they have a good mix, different minorities. My children they are directly mixed. Their father sperm donor, rather, I should say. He is German, pasty white German guy. So they
9.
Yeah, 9.
Sorry.
No, yeah, thanks. He knows a little bit.
It means no.
Yeah, I know, but you
Right,
didn't get
right.
9.
That was actually kind of traumatizing.
Yeah.
I was
Just a
gonna
little
say,
bit.
like them. That's why I'm hitting him like no, like him.
I can't tell. Oh God.
Don't leave. Don't leave. You go to the corner. No, I'm punishing. That's how my dad was saying. Put yourself on punishing.
So,
You
so
know,
it's
I
funny
accidentally write
'cause, like,
themselves up at work once. That was satisfying.
my kids are actually that's like my kids. They're mixed. You know, I get asked all the time if I'm mixed, but I have
There
2
you go.
black parents. You know, at the end of the day, we're all a mixed melting pot of
Yeah.
people somewhere along the lines.
Indeed.
But my roots are African American. But unfortunately, I haven't done my genealogy. I
no,
don't
no,
really know.
unfortunately.
I probably shouldn't do it.
Nah, don't bother.
You know
I
what's
don't
funny?
know.
Because
No,
today
I
on
don't
the
know how
news
much
they
of
were
it's
talking
true.
about it,
Yeah.
and they said some company that police use to solve crimes is buying the whole database of one of those
Oh
genealogies.
Jesus
yeah.
And yeah, it was kind of wild. And I'm
We
like,
talked about this.
Yeah.
We
Really?
did. We
We
called
did,
it. We were like,
yes.
you know, you're
Wow.
basically putting your information into who knows what database of
Wow.
what.
That's crazy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't trust nothing. I'm a conspiracy theorist all day long.
There you go. So this.
There's version of I know that's right.
Thanks, Jen. Thank you for understanding my speech, my dialect.
There you go.
So
I think I need some more alcohol.
There you go.
I'm gonna put a little more in my cup.
Do you?
so me and Clara were having this stupid discussion over the weekend, and so I have to ask you guys because it's just
Why not?
yeah. So here's the situation: you go over coworker's house.
Never. Sorry.
Definitely never. But go ahead.
That's it. We do.
Actually, we definitely don't need more juice.
Yeah.
Go over coworker's house, and they're white, and
There
they're
you
like,
go.
"Oh my
This is the-
God, did you meet our new pet, our new dog?" And you're like, "All right, no. Look, come on, bring him in." And it's a little dog, and they're like, "We named him for Bim. We named him Ola Sheni."
Why would you name the dog? Okay.
Are you
That's
offended?
my brother's name, by the way. My
Okay, so this was an example.
She basically asked, "Would you be offended if somebody named their pet like clearly
Ethnic name
ethnic
Oh
name?"
boy.
of your ethnicity.
Yes. Like, would you be offended, right?
but you can't say the pet's name because that would give it away. Damn, because I want to know what name they gave.
No,
you.
well, no, but this was the hypothetical.
Oh,
Situation.
hypothetical. Okay.
So,
This is
like,
my
for-
dog, Jean-Claude.
Exactly.
I think that's fly.
That is mad
Give it a
fly.
little beret.
Yo, a little poodle, a French
Yo.
poodle.
Okay.
My man.
Jean-Claude.
That's fly.
Jean-Claude gotta
So-
take a shit.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
This is woman's son. This is my dog, woman's son. You like touch him.
I don't think I'd be offended though.
You wouldn't be offended?
Nah.
If a white family had a Nigerian named dog,
Let me see.
yeah.
Like, let's try to really put that. So you got Bob, Susan, Mark
And Femi.
is the family.
Femi. I think I like it. Now, if they were extra though, if they were putting like kente cloth on the dog, I'm like, all right, fam.
All right.
Jollof rice in the bowl. All right, fam. Yo.
So you're not initially offended?
No, with
Wow,
the name,
this-
no. But if they doing all that extra
I
I'm
just
like,
really got that visual, like,
because it could happen, right?
straight slavery for
can
the
happen.
dog.
So, like, you go over the house and they're like, look, it's Trayvon.
Oh, that's
Oh, my God.
Darren?
My
you
God.
can't
But
do
it's
that.
Wow,
but a
Darren.
clearly ethnic name. I'm
Wow.
sorry I chose that one.
That was a bad one. That was a real bad one.
That whole sentence was problematic. It's not just the
There's
name.
so much
It was
wrong with that.
problematic
Yes,
from.
I apologize for using that name.
You know what's
God,
crazy?
rest
He's the
in
only one who
peace.
don't drink when we're here.
Wow.
So this is
I'm
all just
just
me.
realizing
So
this.
we go back to a bunch of episodes when I asked if you would rather share
just
all your
realized-
thoughts.
He's drinking juice.
Chip
I'm
Dog.
drinking out of a Chip Dog cup.
Chip, shout out to
Chip
Chip.
Dog.
Forgot to shout him out. Yo, what
Yes.
up? What up?
Okay,
I'm
sorry.
gonna try to get off that since she derailed.
My bad. My bad.
No, it's good.
What happened?
Trayvon the dog.
Oh, damn it! She was trying to get away from it. Trying to sneak out the room.
Stop.
I was just trying to make sure we were getting away
Anyway,
from.
so,
You're like bringing it back.
so I'm just asking: would you be offended if they named their pet a clearly ethnic name?
I don't think so. I don't
Jen,
think I would.
are you offended?
part of me would think they're cool down, but then part of me would be like, what's up with that?
Yeah. So I think I would laugh initially. Like, what? What's his name? What's his name? Wobinson? Like Wobinson? Wobbins? Yes, you say it like that? Wobinson? So instead of Roberts, because we can't say R's. We
I
say
can't
W's.
be-
So that's why Friday was so funny to me.
I didn't hear it.
I know, this is what makes it hilarious. You just don't ever hear it.
So Lizzo went
Thank
to-
you, man.
Oh boy,
Which Lizzo story? There's 2 Lizzo stories this
There's
week.
two.
there's
There's
a story
two?
about
Oh,
her
you didn't hear
at
the second
the
one?
basketball
Wait,
game.
he
when
didn't hear the
Pimp
second
Let
one.
Out.
Don't say the second
I know
one.
about that one. What's the second one?
What?
Oh, no, you finished this. You talk about the first one, and then we'll hear the second
Say
one.
them both,
So
please.
Lizzo went to a Laker game with her ass out. I'm angry.
Assless
Why?
chaps, but like leggings.
It was nasty.
Can somebody throw up a picture? Because I haven't
You haven't
You
seen
didn't
it?
see it?
Please
I
help
haven't
him. It
Yeah,
won't-
my
look at-
cousin threw a picture up real quick. And this is the first thing I saw. That was actually the first thing I saw this morning, Jen. Going back to things we saw this morning.
So not only did Lizzo just go to the game wearing these assless chaps, she was Darren. What's going on?
Every time. This is spiritual. Every time.
Was it just chaps?
She
No,
was,
it was
excited
leggings.
and saying, "Yes, who goes to the Laker game like this? Me, bitches." I'm like, okay, fam. First of all, you're probably sitting in the luxury area. Those are leather seats.
Bruh.
Is leather porous? Because you put your
Ew.
bare ass on some.
This guy's a black.
At a basketball game, all the sweat flying.
It's not. That's nasty.
You know what's funny? And because the chairs are light, if she sweat too much, she could have got up and the seat
And
would have
then
been
the
stuck to
seat-
her.
Lizzo defends her thong-bearing outfit.
Yeah, no,
See it.
I'm
Someone
cool.
show me.
Darren is
Someone
tortured
show
right now.
me,
He
yo.
said, I need to see it.
I tried to
I
look for it earlier
actually
and I
can't
was too
find
busy.
a picture of it.
Ooh,
It's like
I'm
all
sure I have a
kinds
screenshot
of.
somewhere.
Somebody find it before I do, because I'm gonna and find it quick because I'm about to start saying stuff that might get me in trouble.
Nope,
Here we
talking
go.
to him.
Here
worse
we
than
go.
what I
Here we
said.
go. Here we go. Here you go.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, all
yeah.
right.
To a basketball game.
Wow,
To a basketball
To
game.
You know what's funny?
basketball.
That's the
I mean-
second thing I saw from that basketball game.
basketball.
But who dresses like that anyway?
Right.
Lizzo.
So I was.
Like really?
Here's
Like
where I get in trouble. I
it.
blame
Social media.
the super feminist and the gays. I
mean-
don't care.
Wow.
Because they encourage that behavior.
Mine was still worse.
They encourage it. They'll say,
yes.
yes,
They'll say
slay, and all that bullshit. You're at
Damn.
what?
Yikes.
It's bullshit. I don't care.
She held up a little sign and said, "Yay!"
I don't know. I love Lizzo. She's very
Damn.
talented,
What is
but
this?
like
These are antics.
I don't understand this because
Come on.
I just don't understand it.
Bam, I
I
dare you
don't
not to
understand.
laugh.
What's the
It almost
point?
looks fake, but
What's
okay.
the point?
Exactly. Exactly. Other than to make a scene.
Like she
and-
doesn't need to do. Okay, she doesn't need to do anything to draw attention to
No.
herself.
Right. She
You know,
doesn't.
She
she's
has actual good music.
And even if like Rihanna would never. Rihanna would never.
so.
Oh, yeah. So Anita, right?
I understand the whole movement, and I think it's a beautiful thing, right? Like the body shaming that people do. Yes, let's break away from all of that.
But nobody and anybody would wear that.
But that's not an outfit to me.
Right.
Like I don't. Whether you have her size or a toothpick,
Right.
Nobody
it
wears
doesn't
that.
make sense.
If
It looks
Russell
like
Westbrook showed up to a game like that, I'm flaming him. If anybody goes somewhere in public like that with your whole ass out or your nipples just through the shirt, if you're a guy or some wild shit, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I
Really,
think that's
what
what,
are you
the
doing?
argument too was, is like when they were comparing it to things that other celebrities may wear, but it's like red carpet versus a basketball game versus.
I
Either
don't
way,
think that
I
works
don't think-
anywhere except the bedroom
I don't think
or the beach.
now
maybe.
that I'm like
They're not even
actually
bad.
looking at it, I mostly just don't understand from a fashion perspective
Right.
what the fuck this is.
Yeah, it's
Like,
upsetting.
From a fashion perspective,
I don't know.
it has, I don't
because
give
no
a
one
sh-
sees
I
it.
don't care about her size.
You're
This is
sitting
not
there-
delivering a message of empowerment to me. This is what the fuck are you wearing?
Facts.
Because
So
you don't see
I
it
don't
till
know
she
if I'm
gets up.
showing my age.
Nope.
And I'm not trying to knock her at all. I don't want any smoke from this, but like, I love Lizzo. She's great, but the fact that it is a controversy, the fact that everybody's talking about it is also annoying. But I'm annoyed by all of it.
Asinine.
Why?
Does it work?
Oh God!
Good
That's-
job.
That's really.
Double entendre. Yeah. Ask him how. So here's the second part.
Yeah.
Oh, there's
This
more.
morning, watching the news, they named People's Person of the Year. It was this young activist. I forgot her name. I feel like a dick.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, Time's doing more than just Person of the Year. They're doing blah 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 of the year and blah. Lizzo is Entertainer of the Year.
Yeah, I saw that part.
Because she could play the piccolo. What is it that she plays?
It's a flute.
Just a straight up flute.
Let me bring it up.
Is that why? Or
I'm like,
No.
in the
They
same
give
year that
explanation.
Nipsey passed away,
I mean, and Chris Brown's still out here. So
and Beyonce's still
and
alive.
Beyonce's still out.
Jay-Z just
Darren,
turned
let me
50.
put my cape on. Jay-Z turned 50.
Did he be doing shit?
There's a lot of people.
But they gave her an
Entertainer of the year,
explanation.
Lizzo got.
Yeah.
And
And I'm saying, she's a great entertainer. But of the year, over even Meg.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Well, Meg don't play the flute.
But I don't know if the voting was this week. So then that makes you wonder, does her
That looks
name
funny.
being in the news make...
That looks funny. Doesn't that look a little funny?
Oh, God, Darren. I don't...
What are we doing?
The
Oh,
picture,
my.
that looks funny.
That's the picture?
It just looks funny.
That is
That's the
funny.
real picture?
Yeah.
What is she? What's on? What's
that's-
on?
Yeah, I saw Willy Wonka.
What's on her?
I love Willy Wonka.
Yeah, I remember the Fruit of the Loom commercials with the
Oh
grape.
wow, the grape.
But I'm mad her face is so serious.
Wow.
Sorry.
Can I see?
Sorry.
Go ahead. Take it in.
Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry. Why she wore those pants?
You guys are problematic.
Whatever.
Why are we problematic?
Whatever. And
said
so-
the
I
grape.
just, at the end of the day, I it could be a publicity
It
stunt.
absolutely is. And that's what annoys me about it.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Because she doesn't need to
Nope.
do that. She
Nope.
doesn't need to do it. She doesn't need to do a publicity stunt. So I don't even know how convinced I am about that. But it's kind of unnecessary.
Yeah.
And then when you look at, I'm gonna say this. We're on a podcast. I can say what I want, right?
That's right.
Damn right.
All right then.
Darren said Trayvon
When we
the
talk
dog.
about people, when we talk about people of color, right?
Yes.
People of color that are in the spotlight.
One moment. I will cut that out. I'm gonna
Like
cut.
last week?
I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna cut
You just stop while you're
what I
ahead,
said and what you said, so that no one has to hear it. You may
ain't gonna do
proceed.
shit.
I'm gonna cut it out. Proceed. I'm sorry.
He has the camera.
I was just gonna say, as people of color, right? I feel like people that are not of color, they look at us a certain way, right? They already have a perception, and we're constantly fighting to show ourselves in a different light. I feel like,
Yeah.
just because it's like people with their prejudices and their assumptions. I feel like there are certain things that people of color do that set us back
Yeah.
a little bit. And let's be real.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's be real. At some point, everything can't be a statement. At some point, it's a little bit damaging. And I feel like this whole thing with her whole thong show
And then
at a
crying
basketball
after it.
game, I think it was totally unnecessary.
And it's
I
not
think
sanitary.
it was a bad outfit call. I think we're dealing with, they're making a huge deal out of it, but think about all the times where they take the models on the red carpet or whatever, and they're the white girls, and they do a side-by-side comparison of who wore it best or who wore the worst outfit. This is like in that kind of stuff, that category. Let's leave it there. I don't think it speaks much to her character so much. I think it was a bad decision on an outfit.
I hope.
I like to think that it was a bad
I hope.
decision.
Yeah.
Because what kind of point are you really trying to make wearing that?
You know what's crazy? Because she's getting mad. Like people are coming at her because she's big, and it's like, no, we're coming at you because you look crazy.
I wouldn't want to see that if J Lo was in it
Nope.
with her perfect body. In my
She's
opinion,
50 as well.
Yes.
And she's been out here killing
And
it.
she
She could be
old as hell.
entertainer of the year.
That is true.
So
I'm sorry to
No.
go back to that.
I feel like the argument could be made that kind of to go against what you say, that why do we as people of color have to do extra to carry ourselves to project a certain image
Right.
when the people of non-color can do whatever they want and there's no repercussions for
It's
it.
true.
Repercussions? Sorry.
Repercussions.
Let me tell you something right now.
You know what?
Jennifer Aniston would have came out wearing some assless thong
I
leggings.
think
she would have
She
flamed
would
too.
get flamed too.
I
She
think
would get
anybody that wore the outfit that she has on that is
To the
all
place she wore
over
it
the
to.
internet, they would be shamed. This is not about her color.
No.
This is not about her size. This is about a poor choice in clothing.
And she was just She
Period.
was tacky
Like-
all around because honestly, before I saw the pants, I saw a clip from her sitting at the game, and they were like, "Oh, how you like in the game?" Blah blah blah. And she was like, "Oh, I like number 32." Da 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 da. And then the commentator said his name, and she was like, "Well, do you know him?" She's like, "No, but." And then she was kind
Yeah.
of doing that, so she was already being extra. So when somebody asked me, "Oh, did you see the Lizzo thing?" I'm like, "What? Her being thirsty?" And they was like, "Yeah," because they thought I was talking about the pants. So then she showed me the pants. I'm like, oh, that's not even what I saw. I saw this. You know what I mean? Like, she was at that game just being tacky from start to finish.
Yeah.
She was doing a lot.
Yeah, because tacky's tacky.
Tacky
like,
is
no
tacky.
matter what color you are.
I think that's what we're really dealing with. And I get what you're saying. Why should we have to work harder necessarily? And I completely get that. But I'm going to speak to that on a different note. Right? Well, I'm going to go back to the fact that I work in a company where there are exactly 783 employees. I know that because I had to fill out a subscriber agreement and they wanted to know how many. There's 783 employees in that company, and there are 43 people of color.
Sheesh.
Wow.
Sheesh.
That's it.
Golly, Jen, what's
And
the
you want to
percentage?
know where most of them are?
What was it again?
call
Say the numbers.
center.
Call center. Yeah.
What are the numbers again? I'm sorry.
783, and there's 43 people of color in the company. All right, so let me put that in that perspective. So
So that's about half
when
a
I
percent?
meet with my black counsel in the corporate office where there's even less people of color, okay, because most of us, like I said, are in the call center, which is at a different facility. It's a different location. So I'm literally like one of a handful of people of color that go into this building every day. So when we have meetings for our black council at Blue Meeting, and there's 5 of us in one room, when I tell you everybody crane necks and breaks their neck to look, because it's like they get intimidated when they see us all together for some reason.
Yep.
And so to your point, like you do it, I felt like we had to explain why we wanted to be called the Black Council, even though it was fucking obvious. Like, so we are constantly in a state of defending ourselves, and we shouldn't have to. I do agree with that, but unfortunately,
This is where we
it's
are.
the way it is.
Yeah.
Right.
They already are looking at you a certain way. They're already put you in a category before you've opened your mouth or made a move. So I feel like, especially when you have reached a height like Lizzo and people are looking up to you now, you do have followers, you do have a fan base,
You do have influence.
you do have influence. So it's kind of like you got to draw the line somewhere. Some stuff is just too extreme. You have little girls that are supporting you, and I'm sorry, but if I don't have little girls, I have boys. Thank God. But
Thanks.
if I had a little girl, at no point would I want her to think that that's an okay outfit to just wear like out, just like chaps. Like, what is that? That's not an outfit. It's not an outfit. I don't care what
upset.
anyone
tell
says.
you right
That is
now.
not fashion.
No.
It's not an outfit.
No.
You can even show your breasts and you can accentuate your body parts. There's lots of other things she could have done to glorify her body, which I don't got a problem with her body. I don't think that's what the point is. I think that's the point that people are missing. But then it's easy to say, oh, it's because she's black. Oh, it's easy to say, oh, let's put it on the fact that, oh, they just want to throw shade. That's not what's happening. I think it was a poor decision.
Tacky and unsanitary. It's nasty.
Your Bim's not letting the center.
Like, did they keep the chair there?
You can't. Bun it.
Wait, what? About the chair?
The chair, because
But it's-
somebody else has to sit on it.
So her thong butt is just on the chair.
Long butt. Okay.
It's on the chair. You get warm if it's
Thong
leather.
not being on a butt.
You're into the game. You're clapping. You're bouncing up and down. You ate the Cheetos. You ate the nachos.
a little bit of flatulence.
98.6 degrees.
It's a long game. Come on now.
Yeah,
It's a
you
long
do
game.
halftime.
You gotta get through halftime. Little bathroom break. Maybe they didn't clean up all the way.
Didn't clean up.
Come
That's
on.
if she runs a normal temperature.
Come on. It's nasty.
I feel like the chair is like a breeding ground for terribleness.
Just
It's
saying.
just, yeah, I love Lizzo. I should. This will pass. This will all pass. Nobody will be thinking about it a couple weeks from now. However, today
You
it's
got
kind of
time.
like, why? Why did this need to happen? It was unnecessary.
Speaking of things that are unnecessary that made me go, why did this have to happen? So, like I said, watch the news in the morning because that's the only way I'll get the fuck up out the bed, right?
The news gets you out of bed.
No, but I need to turn on the TV.
Ah.
And so, listening to CBS News this morning yesterday with Gail, you know, shout out to Gail.
What up, Gail?
Gang, gang.
Gay.
I don't even know Gail. She don't know me. We just have G names, whatever. So anyway, Gail was talking to the father of Elizabeth Smart. You guys remember Elizabeth Smart?
The name's familiar. Remember?
Yeah.
Like 2002
Isn't
or
that
some
she
shit.
the one that was
She was kidnapped
held? Yeah. She
like
yeah,
9 months, but she was only like a couple miles away from her house.
Yeah.
And then they used her father's voice
found
to help
her.
find her or some shit like that.
Okay.
It was a long time ago. We were kids. Anyway, so her dad is now on CBS News this morning. I know I was supposed to feel bad for him. I didn't. Preface with that, I know I was supposed to.
Feel bad. Why? What happened to her though?
To him.
Oh, what happened to him?
To him. So he's like almost 65 years old. And he's decided now that he's gay. Cool.
God bless.
Live your life.
65.
Yeah, it's not too late to come out of the closet.
Whatever.
It'd be rough out there in the dating scene, but whatever.
Yeah,
Figure it
not
out.
for him.
So rough.
Probably.
And that's where your concern should be, right? But he's on TV crying.
About what?
Oh, and I had to come out, and I called the pastor, and then I called the bishop. I'm like, first of all, sir, you found the bishop's number, but you couldn't find in yourself to realize I like being with guys. You know what I mean? He's like,
Probably.
yeah, and it's like if you're gay, cool, just go on and live your life, go be gay. But like people still trying to get like attention for regular ass shit. That's like me going on TV crying, and I met a guy and he's not the same race as me, but I love him and I don't know what to do. Like that's not.
How did he even get on the news?
I was gonna say, why did they bring
and
him
it's,
on?
it's like a 3-day interview, like how they did R. Kelly,
Who cares? You're not even the one that
boy.
was lost. It was your kid that was lost.
and it was 15, 18 years ago.
So what are you doing?
So it's a dry
That's
ass news
like
week. Huh?
you being gay is literally not the worst thing that's happened in your life.
boy.
You lost your fucking kid.
Yo, Jen.
Wow. That
was
wait
easily
a minute,
missed.
Wait a minute. She said that's not the worst thing.
No, right.
Your life.
That is, yo,
Wait,
yo,
time out.
yo,
Time out.
yo,
She ain't lying though.
Candace.
We need to speak a disclaimer.
Candace.
Disclaimer time.
Not even a little bit the worst. It's
We are
just
not.
gay.
We are not saying
at
that
all.
being gay is the worst decision.
No.
We're not saying
I'm
that.
saying the opposite of that. I'm like, it's not that bad.
It's
What are you
right.
crying
It's
about?
not bad at all compared to you losing a child for how long? 9 months?
You should have a threshold.
Right.
That's for coping with shit.
Right.
Yo.
Right.
She said a threshold.
For 9,
That's-
if
that's
I was
real.
missing my child for an hour,
Right.
that's kill myself.
I'm telling you,
Bruh.
look, I'm calling. You home yet?
Yes, I'm dying. I'm
no,
dying
yeah.
until I find my child.
So
Your
you-
child was gone for 9 months.
You lost your kid for almost a year. Then you were blessed to find. You know how many kids go missing that never get found?
Fact.
You
And
found
now
your
you're on
kid. That is
TV.
perseverance. You have made it,
Yeah.
and you are
And
on
then
TV
you-
in 2019.
talking about it's hard.
Crying.
It's hard for a gay man out here.
You 65 years old. You about to retire.
You just retired.
You
Your kid's already gone.
man
Again.
He got 6 whole kids.
Your kids are
crying.
gone
You got
again.
6 kids?
6 fucking kids. You're already divorced, so it's not like you come out to your wife or nothing.
No.
And let me tell you something. People that I know who are gay usually say the same thing. When they finally come out, because they think no one knows, everybody who's close to them goes,
I
yeah,
knew.
we kind of knew.
I knew.
Right.
Yeah.
Your wife knew. Your kids knew.
It should have been a
Everybody,
weight lifted from
everybody
your
in
shoulder.
denial.
Even the damn priest, even the bishop who you called who said, I don't think you're gay, that man gay too, probably.
Oh, wow.
Again.
Wow.
He said, "Wow."
But it's true. That is not the
is not
the worst
bad.
thing in your life.
That's
That's a
not
fact.
bad at all. Were you on TV crying? Gail, why the fuck did you take onto this?
Yeah, that's their fault. You don't bring somebody on for that.
He's
That's-
really crying. Yes, and you don't get your dumbass off this TV making people think there's something you should be crying about.
Oh boy.
We're a very sensitive podcast here. Please delete this.
Clearly.
We
Because
care about all the
I'm not
issues.
even gay and I'm offended for the gay community. Like, you're really up on TV right now crying?
Yeah.
The fuck? You don't go be happy? You go
Go
live
be
your
gay?
life?
Go be actually gay.
Go be
Like,
gay
the
and
word-
feel free.
You know what's funny about that is the word means happy.
Yeah.
What is wrong with that?
Yeah. Nothing.
Go
And
be
the
happy.
hardest part, to me, if I had to imagine what the hardest part about being gay would be for somebody like him, is having to hide who you really are.
Right.
You're actually free to be who
Who
you are.
decided that the way that you sexually identify needed to be called gay in the first place?
Somebody who was very happy.
Oh.
Alrighty then.
They was like, shit.
I'm taking this word for this entire community.
Jen.
I feel gay as fuck. I just got some. I just got some. If you knew what I knew, you'd call it gay
really,
too.
like,
You know what I'm
who
saying?
decided that? Like,
I don't know.
who
I never
decided
looked at
that?
the origin of that.
Have you ever really, sometimes I think too deep about things, but who decided that we were going to affiliate the word gay that
With
hasn't,
the-
what came first, like the chicken or the egg, the gayness or gay,
The word gay was definitely first.
right?
Yeah, and it had a
So
meaning.
why did we decide as a society that when you were with someone of the same
looking
sex,
it up,
that means you're gay.
My
And then-
search is about to be wild.
And then how did
Which
About to
means
be
happy
done,
by
right?
definition.
how did happy by definition turn into shameful by definition? Who did that?
Let's talk about that.
Who did that?
I want to know.
So yeah, you on here crying on TV, sir. I don't feel bad for you, and I know I was supposed to. I know that was the whole point. Gail brought you up there. That's Oprah's best friend. She thought she was doing it. She brought your dumb ass on the TV. Go sit down somewhere. If I was his kid, I'd be so mad. Like, yo, I'd call my brother. Yo,
You see Dad on the TV.
you see that on
Right.
TV?
Literally.
Being
You
a
see this
hoe.
man on TV being a
Being
whole
a
hoe?
hoe.
Can you believe this?
He's out here being a whole hoe on TV.
A whole
Oh, ho,
Can
ho,
you
time
go
for
get your
Christmas.
dad? Go get your goddamn dad. Bye. Let me know what he says. Bye. I've been mad about this shit for 2 days. I was waiting.
Yeah,
And they have a
Jen.
third segment coming on tomorrow. I'm gonna watch that shit. And get
Why are you
mad too.
watching it?
Because I need to get up.
Because we gotta watch that.
Get up.
I ain't got cable.
I'll take this away. You find it yet?
Cable's not worth it.
So
1960s. They just said, yeah, they took it.
I broke up with
Literally.
cable November 30th, 2018.
Oh, you made it happen. Oh yeah, you did do that. Yeah, yeah.
I want to break up with my cable.
Do it.
I think I'm gonna get back
Nobody
with cable, though.
watches it. The
Do
kids
it.
are only on like Netflix and
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
even. They
Yeah.
do their PS4 whatever. And
Get rid of it.
Nah, I'm gonna hit cable with a hey big head in about April.
Why? You don't need it.
Because
wow,
You
good
don't
way
need
to say
it.
it.
wow.
way to
because
put
what
it.
happens at that point, I've regenerated and now I'm a new customer again. I can get it for like.
But you don't need it. You don't need it.
I'm telling you,
But I
I'm
need
paying for
internet.
it right now, and it's such a waste of money.
Internet is all you need. That's it.
I know, but my internet now that I pay for is costs the same amount as new customer.
That's
cable.
how they do it, though. They'll
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, well, if you unbundle, you're wind up going. There's really
Right.
not much savings."
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's a good voice. That's a good.
Thanks.
That's a good
Thanks.
Yeah.
telemarketer voice. I'll take this minute to say thank you to our listeners for listening to us.
Please
Yeah.
don't be offended.
Make, please.
Sorry for anything I've said that was
Oh,
inappropriate.
don't apologize. They're used to this by now. Make sure you follow us on social media platforms, PLSDELTHIS on Instagram. On Twitter, the same handle. On Facebook, we're Please Delete This. On YouTube, we're also Please Delete This. Make sure you subscribe, share, and listen. And follow us on your favorite streaming platforms such as Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes Radio, the podcast app, Google Play, yada, 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 and yada, yada, yada.
Did you say YouTube already?
Yes, I did say the YouTubes.
Okay, I wasn't listening.
Brother Bim heads up our media department, and he puts the videos on the YouTubes, and
Our media department.
yes, and so make sure you follow us and look at the quality of our video has greatly expounded,
Improved.
improved so much so that we said it expound. I was into that episode the other day. So much so that you can see Brother Bim in high definition.
Why is he doing this? Why is he doing this?
Brother Ben with high definition.
We'll explain later.
Or not.
And to those, I'm sorry. Won't happen again.
Yo, you see you sitting different.
Because my leg is
he's
better.
sitting very
My leg
different.
is better.
Yeah.
Shut up. My leg is better.
I bet it is.
we had a little bit of feedback.
No,
Anyways.
no, Darren.
I wasn't
Yes,
gonna
follow
say
us on
I
social
wasn't
media.
gonna say it. I
And
wouldn't
follow
say that.
We don't
Candi
trust
the
you.
Violinist
Yes,
as well.
Candy _the
Underscore,
violinist
yes.
on Instagram.
Yes. What's your next gig, ma'am?
So actually, I'm going to be playing tomorrow night at Mary Gibson Showcase at AS220.
Oh, man. So you guys are going to miss this because
Because
we'll
we
drop
put
the
this on
episode on
Fridays.
Friday. So you guys have missed the show, but I'm going to say confidently that the show was amazing and you guys missed out.
Shout out to Mary. We need to get her on here too. I've been chasing her for a little bit.
So
Sounds a little crazy.
I was gonna say this.
I
That
did.
doesn't sound creepy at all.
I did a showcase. I did an open mic, I think, at Bev Lounge
Okay.
back over the summer with Mary Gibson. And so this is her first cycle of this set, and it's open to all artists. And
Nice.
You know.
Didn't she used to do that on like Mondays?
Yes,
somewhere?
it was Mingle
Okay.
Mondays
Yeah.
at Bev Lounge.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now it's
So,
at AS220.
I got I played out there and got a lot of that was another thing that kind of catapulted the word
Get you out
spread
there.
of me
Yep.
doing my thing. So yeah,
Shout out to Ray J. And his
that's
bosses.
the next thing. Ray J.
I've watched that thing
I
way
keep
too
cannot
many
meaning to
deal.
watch
times.
the whole interview and I haven't. I need to.
And
Yeah,
I
that
hear
is
there's a
essential.
part afterwards where he puts
He
the,
tries to put the glasses on, yeah.
Legend. You know who else is a legend?
Besides
Or
me.
growing to be one?
Chris Brown.
Besides Chris Brown? Shut up. Cardi B, yo.
going to Africa. I don't want to talk about it.
Specific. Yeah, and I know why you don't want to talk about it. I know why you don't want to talk about it.
Did you ever follow up with Crystal?
Crystal who?
Yo, sister.
What she did?
Whew, she came at Jen's neck hard.
That's how I found out
About what? The Cardi B? Oh, about the other stuff. So Cardi B went to Nigeria. She was turning up on her Instagram. She was in strip clubs, giving money that way, donating. But she also what?
Who told you about that first?
You did.
Listen.
What? Why you interrupting me?
I was watching her story, right? And I had my friends like, yo, because I know them. I know what they like. So, y'all gotta go watch Cardi B's story.
Yeah.
There's mad nakedness, yo. I was
like, first of all, I didn't know they had strip clubs in Africa.
Come on,
that is new. No, I'm being dead the fuck ass. I was like,
Nigeria is popping.
I know,
Nigeria
but I didn't
but
put
still,
two. I didn't put that together.
Still, I never would. It's like an African porn thing. Like you just
African porn.
It's a
we
thing.
actually talked about it at our birthday dinner, but I won't get into that. That doesn't happen because Africans are not known for being like
sexual,
romantic.
Yeah. Not at all.
Nah, it's more gruff. It's more rough around the edges.
Mad teeth sucking. Yeah.
You want me to do what?
Suck what?
Put what in where?
Sit down right here.
She jumped right in.
It's not. So when I saw her in a Nigerian strip club, this shit looked dope as fuck.
Yes.
This girl's upside down on a pole. I said, what the hell?
Yeah. So not only did she give money,
I ain't experienced Nigeria that way.
She went and gave the equivalent of like 1 million naira in donation things to orphan kids, I think it was, or so very dope.
Very nice.
But she didn't only go to Nigeria; she also went to Ghana. A little different experience in Ghana.
And that's more what I expected, to be honest with you.
So
the
in
Ghana
Ghana
experience is what I expected.
Yeah, so I think something happened at the show where the power went out during the show or something.
Yeah, she didn't get to perform.
And also she ate some food and had like
stomach problems.
But
first of all, let me say something. Anybody who goes overseas is subject to possibly having stomach problems.
She's fine in Nigeria. That's fine though.
Because I took food safety. I was a Burger King manager, and you should know this. It takes 24 hours for you food poisoning to hit your body. So that could have happened between Lagos and Accra. It could have happened anywhere.
Definitely not.
Look up food poisoning and how it works. It takes 24 hours.
Anyways.
So anywho, what I'm saying is we don't know where her stomach went back. All we know is her stomach problems.
You see any IG stories from when she was in Ghana at all?
No, but and you know what's funny? When I reposted the pictures, under the caption, her said, even though I was there less than 24 hours, I had fun. In my head, I'm like, something must have fucking happened. I'm gonna repost these pictures anyway because they look fly, but something the fuck happened. And I meant to ask my mom, shit, because she was listening to Ghanaian radio.
Oh, they would talk about it for sure.
Yeah, and I forgot to ask when I talked to her today.
But shout out to the Queen going out there and having fun. I want people to know that in certain parts of I can only speak to Nigeria, but in certain parts of Nigeria, there's clubs, there's built like it's a city.
Yeah.
In
Even
Lagos
in Ghana,
and Lekki.
people keep telling me you need to go. We're gonna have so much fun. Da, da, da. But I don't see Ghanaian people being the type of people to host someone properly in that way. Yeah. I mean, we can have fun, but hosting and doing things and they're trying to give her a cultural experience. Yeah. And it's like, she didn't come here for that.
Nah, you got to know the right people. So don't just go out there all willy-nilly because there's armed robbers.
Armed robbers everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
My brother and his family actually they just went.
Oh yeah?
He brought the children, everything, and they're having a fabulous time.
In the big house?
In the big house.
Hey. Sorry.
Carry on.
No, so
Darren?
I'm anxious. Oh, what were you gonna say, Jen?
No.
I just wanted to include him.
I'm anxious for
me too
for some tunes.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Candy, can I ask Candi the Violinist? Can you play for us, please?
Please.
We don't have money to pay you though. Sorry.
No, we don't. Wait, do I need to give you money?
You can have the rest of this bottle.
Fine. You can just be forever indebted to me.
I'll take it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna do some cutting here or something, and then we'll be back with some tunes from Candi the Violinist.
Ooh, that was good. That communication degree is coming nice.
Stand a sec.
And that was Candi, the violinist. A little something for your ear holes.
Yes.
Something sweet, a little treat.
Did you guys like it? Like I felt
I
like it
loved
just
it.
wasn't like, you know.
No, so
You can do it again now. Listen again.
I had some different stuff going on in my head, but I kind of lost it for a second, so I just vibed out.
where do you go in your head when you're playing? Because I see your eyes are closed and you're like,
yeah,
focused.
and I think someone said to me like, "Wow, it was really cool to me. Like you're not even looking at the violin. Like, if you notice, there's no frets or anything. There's no lines to tell you where to put your fingers. I basically learned, and it becomes muscle memory with your fingers and spacing and shifting and knowing exactly where to put your hand. But my violin teacher gave me stickers. I had stars in particular, and you put them in right in the center of the fingerboard, 1, 2, 3, and that's your basic finger points. So we had to practice by landing on the stars, and for the longest time I was stare, but then you do something for so long, and I literally could play with my eyes closed. So when I'm playing with my eyes closed, it's because I'm humming it out as well in my head, and it's all by ear when I'm freestyling. So it's, you know, knowing scales is key, and just knowing what notes you can do, but I just find that find the notes.
And you've been doing that part for only what?
Yeah, like me really like just freestyling, honestly, within the last 2 years of me really like just totally freestyling. But I've been pretty much limited to being able to play with just sheet music. And like I said, I don't know if I'm a broken record, but it was important to me to learn how to play. I was more impressed by people that could play without a sheet music or a stand in front of them. And it was just all theirs. Yeah. So when I'm playing something, I can truly own it. It's all mine. It's not scripted anywhere. And it's very natural. It's an organic sound that I'm producing. So, and no 2 times that I play it will it sound alike, which explains. I had a whole different thing going on before when I was vibing out to it for like an hour. But again, I just vibed out to it just before I came here. So it's not like I practiced for hours and hours. If I did on one particular song, then it could probably grow into something more. But what's the point? It's just a cover.
Hey,
unless it's my own personal piece, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but those covers, you throw it up on the YouTube, throw it up on the IG. You know what those do. You've seen it.
Someone's gonna love it.
It's because people, when I feel like you grasp more attention with something people recognize. They're like, I know that tune. Like, oh, I like that song.
Yes.
Oh, wait, you're playing that on the violin. So that's kind of what really draws the attention. It's kind of get them like, hey, this instrument plays a song you actually will listen to in your car.
I have one other question now.
Oh, sure, that's fine.
So when you're ready to play, what is your favorite piece or song or space to go when you're ready to play?
My go-to music is always Lindsey Sterling, to be honest. And I know I mentioned her earlier, but she really broke the mold for me when it came to that instrument. Like I always loved it. I always enjoyed playing, but to be completely honest, I was bored at some point with all the classical stuff. At some point it starts to all sound the same. You learn all the techniques, and it's just like, all right, I beat that challenge, but what now? So now to be able to just play to music that I'm like, you know how it is when you hear a song and you want that on repeat. Like to be able to get that satisfaction and play. Not only do I get to play it on repeat, but I get to put my own spin on it and play to it. It's a release for me. Right. It's therapeutic, and then people feel that and they like it, and when I play and they hear it. But I'm a very emotional player when I play too, so I connect with it fully. But
last question. You ever play something so beautiful you start crying? Yo, that shit beautiful. Listen, that I did. I'm telling you,
sometimes I play something and I'm like, yo, that was dope. That was dope.
Like I'm nice.
But I really, when I feel like that is when I'm not playing in front of nobody. I can't even lie to you. I feel like the best things that come out of me is when no one else is listening, and it's uncanny to me. I'm like, yo, but you didn't do that on stage, but still what I do on stage, people love it. Right. But I think it's because you're your own worst critic, right? So I never walk away thinking I did 100% awesome and I couldn't have done anything better. I never feel that way. I always feel like there's room for improvement. I always feel like I could have done better. I'm always looking back like, okay, next time I'll do this versus that. But at the end of the day, as long as I'm enjoying myself and having fun, the people that I'm playing for will also feel that. So that's the most important thing.
Fair enough. Round of applause again for Candi The Violinist.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Candace,
This was so
AKA
much fun. You guys are.
Alien,
This
Queen
is
of
like.
Zamunda.
Elia, I need you to stop with that.
Every time he says that, God, I don't need to. I don't know why I laugh so hard. I think that when you first.
Right. Rhinoceros pizzle.
Don't call me a rhinoceros pistol. Give them your social media one more again.
Yes, Candi_the violinist, and that's Candi Candi. So it's Candi with an I, not a Y, people. If you look for Candi with a Y, you may find some other
$2 hoe.
some facts. You will find yourself a $2 hoe if you spell it with a Y.
Which may be a good thing.
I mean, if you're looking,
But if that's what you want, I am
all
not
for
knocking
it.
it.
We're
You
not gonna
know,
yuck
to
your
each
yum.
his own. You know, just wrap it up.
Word.
and I think that's a good place to end it. So, guys, we'll talk to you next week.
Gotta end with
Yeah, remember we still in the '90s, so let us know what we can
Oh, yeah.
trend. Yes,
Wait.
What? She always got
It's
stuff
the
at
early
end.
90s.
Yes.
It's
So
the
we-
early 90s. There's lots of
See what
time.
happened.
What's something you learned in the 90s?
That I learned mad stuff.
Something that
I
I
don't know,
know.
just name something.
It was. Did we we were in elementary school by that time in the 90s. So I think that's where my love for computers started in the computer room and you remember in the basement.
Oh shit. Damn, dog.
That didn't even have windows. This was like DOS.
Yeah.
And we
You
used
use a turtle to draw the little stars?
Exactly.
Yo.
And I remember like learning that you can type in like edit or open, and those were the basic commands for it. And I remember like, oh, like how the hell does that work? And that started like my love for computers. So that's what I learned in the 90s.
Thank you, Darren.
What?
For sharing.
Didn't you say that was beautiful? Had I not asked my question, we wouldn't have got that out of Darren.
All right. Hey, what about you? What did you learn in the 90s?
Oh boy.
She got nothing to say.
I didn't know you were going to throw it back at me. That's a hard question for me.
I learned how to drive in the 90s.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my license in
Oh,
99.
okay. Yeah.
Man, you went all the way to there. That's cheating.
Yeah.
Well, because it was a lot
Yeah,
of
we're
pressure.
not there
I
yet.
graduated high school in 99.
That's
okay.
okay.
It's
Yeah,
my,
slightly before
99.
us.
Yeah.
Slightly.
Slightly.
Very slightly.
Class of 1999, the last year of the century, the turn of the century year. Like,
And
that's
we're about to
actually
change
pretty
decades
dope.
now. Yeah.
That's wild.
And we are about to change
Yeah.
decades.
Wow.
I just had, I didn't go to it, but they just hosted my 20-year high school event.
Sounds nasty,
high
don't
school.
it?
I'm like, hell no, I don't want no parts.
You know what's funny? I was
I'm not
thinking
going
about-
need my
nowhere
violin to be
that's
home.
got no 20-year nothing preceding it.
I was
Not-
thinking about that, like our
Nope.
20s coming up, and I'm like, all the other ones, I'm like, just like, yeah, I'm not going.
You didn't go
that.
to the 10?
I didn't go to
No,
any,
it was-
but
we went to the
we went to
But
the
like
But
a
I think for
20
20
year
Decided we went to
reunion.
the 10.
I might go to 20 only because of this podcast. It's made me actually talk to more people.
Being social.
It could be a good thing.
If Jen goes, I'll go.
I was gonna go.
If-
Period.
You said you were gonna go. Darren was a social butterfly.
Not in high school. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, you are.
You were on the football team but couldn't play football.
Wow. We're supposed to wrap. So, thanks again,
Wow.
everyone, for tuning in.
That was rough.
Candace,
I don't
Candi
like
the
how you
Violinist,
put
thank
things
you.
out like that.
No, let it
But
just,
they're true.
Darren was one of my best friends in high school. We had little notebooks we would write to each other.
Did
Did you know about that?
I think I did.
How
Gabe,
adorable.
yes, we were happy. Yes, yes,
Super
We were
happy.
happy.
super
happy
gay.
young teenagers.
yes.
I love all of my gay people. I'm just
Heck
saying
yeah.
that for the record.
That's right.
Here comes the
And-
cleanup.
No, it's not the cleanup.
Not even like I
no,
really
yes.
do love gay people. I
Word.
love people of all sizes. I love Lizzo, despite the fact that she made a terrible decision to wear that damn outfit. 'Cause I don't give up. I don't care. This is not women. That is not. If we want to empower women, this is not how we do it. I'm sorry. If you want to be taken seriously and be empowered, that's not the way.
I'm not the one who has to say this.
I'm sorry. Like, come on.
Usually I gotta
I
say
need
this
us
shit,
to.
go
I need us
against
to
the
come
system.
better. I need us to come better than that.
I fucks
You
with
find
her.
We
an
got.
ally.
We got.
I'm with her.
Can we talk about how all the Miss America,
Well,
Miss
Black-
Universe,
let's do
Miss
it.
whatever there
that's
is,
true.
Miss
are
Planet.
these are women who are we can truly look up to, and Lizzo was on that list until she showed everybody her fucking ass.
Literally.
Like, why do we need to look at it? It's not a nude beach. It was totally inappropriate.
You think it has anything to do with her recent hacking? That
Hacking.
her phone was hacked or emails hacked, and a naked picture of her went out. That she took
No.
on her phone and it went out.
No,
So
but
you
she
think-
puts out a lot of pictures with her body
It's
showing.
fine. You don't have.
So it's not. I don't even think she's
Just
like.
curious.
I
trying
feel
to,
one
nah.
way about it. It's like, yeah, there's one way you can make people embrace.
she
Embrace.
does that
You
all the
can
time.
embrace things and glorify things. It's just a way to do it.
Yeah.
She has lots of pictures with way less clothes than she had at that basketball game. So it's not like
Yeah,
a
that's
new
what I'm
thing.
saying.
Yeah.
So it's not even about that.
It's
Like
not.
it's not even about that. I went back to Lizzo again. Wrap it up.
You want to
Going on and on and on. I'm sorry.
It's your friend Jen who wants to go through her texts
I'm
and then
long
come.
with
I didn't
it.
go to my text today.
She did.
I had shit in my text. I didn't go to my text
She's going
today.
through her text now.
That was episode 91.
All right, guys. Sorry.
Candy, thank you so much.
You're
Honestly,
welcome.
we're gonna have to bring you back though. We'll bring you back in
Thank
2020
you. Yes,
for sure.
bring me
If
back.
you-
I would
if
love
you're
to
in Rhode
come
Island
back.
still.
I'd love to come back. I will still be here more than likely, just because I got a pretty decent job, so
Okay.
it's paying
If
the
you,
bills.
If
for
you
now.
about to ask your girlfriend to be your girlfriend, you need music to
yes,
accompany your little
holler
boo-boo.
at me.
Valentine's Day's coming up in
Valentine's
like
Day
a matter of
is
weeks.
coming. If
6
you-
weeks or so, 8 weeks.
If you
I
wanna have
can
music,
do
a soundtrack when you
private
give
sex.
when you give your significant other a gift.
I'm telling you, it'll be a winner. You will
yeah.
she'll be the lovely, lucky person will be forever indebted to you.
This right here is a penny dropper.
Hey. Also,
I don't want to know about the aftermath, but
also,
I
if
will
you
gladly
need,
help you
like,
get
just
there.
General, like a jibber jabber in the background as you propose to your girlfriend, then hire us. We'll be there. We'll talk shit. in the
Imagine
background.
Speaking
Giving
of
a play-by-play.
Triple V's this weekend,
Oh
Saturday.
yes,
Yes.
Drink
From
and
4 to
sip.
7 at Vibes Lounge.
Sip and
Sipping,
dance.
sipping fit.
Sip and fit.
I said I was
Sip.
going, huh?
Yeah.
You're going.
All right.
What is this? Sipping
Oh,
Fit?
it's our friends do a mixed fit class where they it's working out, but it's more to like reggae, hip hop, Afro beats.
Oh no, we ain't done yet.
So
We'll end it.
yeah, so it's a lot of fun. But this week they're doing it at a club, right?
I played the Afro beats as well.
You play something?
So yeah,
I
they
played
do-
everything.
Oh no.
Yes, girl.
All right, so do the official rap. Wrap it now. Go.
Official rap.
Well, I was telling her about
Goodbye,
Triple V's.
everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Triple B,
That's
Saturday.
as official as
Saturday,
it
Candi The
gets.
Violinist today.